Hey Strikers, welcome back to Osas, Season 3, Week 4. We're here today, getting ready right now, before your very eyes. Backstreet's back. Did I say that?
Backstreet's
And,
back.
and, and we're ready to get into another hot game. I believe we're going to watch Seraphim. Which one is it?
Seraphim
Hold on.
Crimson versus Collins Comets.
Okay, that's what I thought, and I was worried. So I'm glad we're all on the same page. I'm glad that I'm showing up prepared and ready to go, really at the peak of my game, and so we're ready to ball. I believe the both teams are ready. We're probably going to be going into map picks and ban soon. So hey, I'm excited for a good game.
So we have Red Volcano Mac and Evil Juggler here for Collins Comets. Red Volcano is the goalie, and for Seraphim Crimson, the goalie is Yugo. They have Master X Malachi and I Love Dog Girls.
Oh.
And I'm excited to see these teams play. It's there's so much variance in Osas. Any of these teams can go on a really hot streak and take it, and I've seen both of these teams play very, very well. So I'm really excited to get this going. And hopefully the players are too.
I'm super excited. I'm doing a little check through all the players. Red Volcano is a 300 game Atlas player, the goalie. So, hey, if you're thinking about joining Osas, and you're a goalie, hey, try a few games with Atlas. You know, he's pretty good. He works, and it's just that easy. Hey, shouts out to that. That is a good pickup.
On the same note, though, make sure you got at least 2 characters, because there is that ban, and you can always see when a character specialist gets banned out. You have to have one more pick for it.
Yeah, don't just play Atlas. Okay, their second pick is 17 games on Luna.
Malachi. Got it. Sorry, I mispronounced a name. So I believe they're doing map bans right now, Yoshi, and the legal map list today. We have Atlas Lab, Night Market, Oni Village. Then we also have Clarion Test Chamber and Demon Days. Do you think we're gonna see any Demon Days today, or is that just a pipe dream?
Oh, I hope so. I wanna see people put on the gloves and get to work. You know, get down and dirty in the pit. But I think a lot of players will opt to ban it, which it's really interesting. I think a resident Scumlord Zentaro player, I show up and I say, hey, today I'm gonna play Omega Strikers and I'm gonna hurt people. And then when I play in houses with people, they're like, yeah, I think it's time to play Juno and Kai and Atlas. And I say, all right, yeah, no, all right. Hey, we have team comped it up. So I think for some reason people have an aversion to playing damage, which makes sense. Hey, and I can't blame anyone for it, but Demon Days damage map, a lot of people seem to avoid it. You pull out your X's, your Julies, maybe a Kazan if you're feeling hey, and get down to playing a different game. I don't know. So I don't think we'll be seeing it, but we'll be seeing Night Market, which is not too different. Hey. That's a brawling map.
I'm really interested to see if we get Clarion today. Clarion is a really fun map in my mind, but it seems like people aren't quite as big fans of it. The variance in the maps is definitely something to worry about, but you really have to be able to work with it. And hey, we are in queue for Night Market.
Yeah, we are loading up right now. I also want to see Clarion. That map is awesome, and I think people are enough time has passed where people are starting to get a hold of the map and be able to navigate it comfortably. So I think teams that are comfortable on Clarion are something to watch out for. That is scary.
I completely agree with you here.
Yeah, I want to see what's going on. Right now, we have a channel point prediction going on. Go bet your bestie bucks. We got a ton of money on Colin's Comets. Seraphim Crimson. Hey, also looking good. Hey, let's play both sides here. Wait,
Which one are you betting on? I'll bet the other one.
I'm on Colin's Comets.
You're on Colin's Comments? Say, hey, that's Seraphim Crimson. Don't disrespect.
Oh my god, someone put their life savings on Seraphim Crimson 07. Anyway, it'd be crazy if we talked about the game. We saw an Amy and Julie ban. Eviler Juggler, perhaps a Juliet player. No longer playing Juliet. Not this game. Sorry. On the X this time.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this Asher come out from Malachi, Master X Malachi. It's an Aerials, and there it is. The orb replicator is back, Yoshi.
Oh, orbs are back.
Orbs
Evil Juggler
are back.
Feeling like a bit of an orber. Interesting. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Hey, both the goalies have picked up this orb replicator, and you know that makes sense. I really do want to get into the mind of Evil or Juggler for a moment. I guess picking up orb replicator over aerials because who wants to play X with aerials? But its secret is Dash Rainy X is pretty good. Another secret is Mac plays a lot of Kai. I checked that guy's core strike too, and hey, it shows. Yeah, put it in then and there like it was nothing.
Yeah, it's really an interesting battle of team compositions here. We have the Luna, the eject button Luna against the strike shot Atlas. It seems like Atlas is much better for the simple core control, obviously. That's a great burst there from Mac. Gets the bottom barrier, but Master X Malachi fights back and gets one of their own. I Love Dog Girls Juno is pushing forward and using that jump to just steal the core away from Evil or Juggler. And a lot of good interceptions from these Juno blobs, but it doesn't matter as Evil Juggler does manage to get that second barrier and open up the goal.
Oh no, where'd that guy go?
And Hugo vanishes, I believe, to Red Volcano's burst. Oof.
Take flight, Luna, but watch out for the power lines. You don't want to get caught.
Oh goodness.
Oh my god, this evil or Juggler guy is going off. Oh my god. God's strongest strike war win. And that's that.
One of the weaknesses with that Luna is that it's easy for someone to just push forward through you. You don't have anything to leave there. And actually, Evil or Juggler is not rewarded for that. Their 5th pick. Mac is first pick, and of course, immediately onto that primetime Kai, and that is going to be tough for them to deal with.
Yeah, it's primetime Kai. Also a great deny from Juno, who takes Timeless, which as it turns out is a great deny from Atlas, who takes Stacks, which is just great overall. See Stagger Swagger. Yes, twice. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Welcome, crew. I just woke up. Stagger Swagger picked up on the X. Looking pretty good. Might be a deny from the Luna if Evil or Juggler ever decides to start oking. And Glass Cannon, it makes this Luna a lot more threatening, but it doesn't matter if the cannon cracks and you lose both barriers in an instant like that. Oh my god, and this X is pumping on the damage.
There's so much pressure here. The slick kicks. Red Volcano is a little bit out of position, but that's alright. Only loses one barrier for it, and Mac with a really interesting barrage upwards into shot underneath Hugo, and it's really quickly 1-0 in the second set for Colin's Comet. Seraphim Crimson really need to pull together here, or they might be going to losers awful quick today.
Yeah, that barrage from Mac was also really good. It went straight up. Only I believe the last 2 bullets caught it and was able to catch the core, slow it down completely, and allow Mac to just strike it wherever he wanted, which, you know, right in front of the goal box is a dangerous situation. But oh my god, Hugo keeps getting caught out by these core flips. It's dangerous out here on Night Market. And we're really seeing this Luna's hopes and dreams get shot down. Oh! Hey, the clapback, glass cannon.
Evil Juggler dies. That's a good KO here for Seraphim Crimson, but can they do anything with it? The blobs are there, but they're not doing much. Primetime Kai can't get it past Yugo, but Evil Juggler is back, so we're resetting back to neutral, although it never really looks like neutral because Evil Juggler is constantly on Yugo, putting pressure on this Luna goalie, and that ultimate punches it into the bottom corner. 2-0 to Collins Comets. I think you're winning the points here right now. That's a...
Well, hey, in the second half of that point, I think Yugo was looking a lot better. They took another fall and said, okay, it's time to lock in. I think Yugo is warm now, ready to defend.
Oh, no.
But unfortunately, the Luna into X matchup is really difficult. He's just bigger than you, and he's doing damage to you. You're constantly hit stun. You can't drop missiles or dash because they'll just get blocked by this big guy in your way. It's so hard to deal with. And I think especially on Night Market with the walls in the middle, there's just not enough space to really get around on this Luna goalie. But hey, you can always take that guy's core flip.
Another core flip from Evil Juggler to put Yugo down, but while that's happening, Master X Malachi and I Love Dog Girls manage to get that second barrier, but they can't get the save here, and it's a quick 2 sets to Collins Comets. It seems like a bit of this Kai, this X are huge issues here, and Red Volcano is just holding it down, and there's an orb immediately. I don't know if Yugo's going to go for that, but we do have Kai first picking and seemingly waiting it out. There are a lot of good options for these characters.
Oh, that's Twin Drive Atlas.
Oh, that is Twin Drive Atlas.
Yeah, this is such a hard draft for Yugo, I think, because I feel like you have to deny the Twin Drive, but then Red Volcano gets Orb Dancer, and that's also hard. And then Extra Special, Specialized, and Missile Proc were all on the board. That is the Luna draft of all time, where you want every single Awakening on the board, and you just can't have it. Oh my god.
That Super Surge on Evil Juggler helping with that dash, getting in there and killing Yugo again. Doesn't matter if you have orbs if they don't stack up. Evil Juggler putting more pressure on, and it feels like this is the usual state of this match so far. Collins Comet sitting here with 2 barriers, and Seraphim Crimson losing theirs really quickly. That's a good Luna dash, that's a good save, and Master X Malachi is dribbling, but Twin Drive Atlas absolutely not. Evil Juggler manages to put it in at the end of that, and this is going pretty quick here, Yoshi.
Yeah, this is speeding on by, and I think we're really seeing a surprising performance from Kai Midfield on Night Market, which I say those words, and in my head I say that doesn't make sense. That shouldn't be working. But Mac here is just making it work so well. Kind of playing it similar to Era, who is incredibly strong in Night Market. Oh! But the midfield presence doesn't matter if Master Malachi is just going to show up and annihilate the enemy goalie.
Master X Malachi shows up, resets those stacks, so Seraphim Crimson are not done yet. And I believe flashes the UCF college logo there. Great dribbling there, and a good push there from Yugo to make sure this puck stays forwards. Master X Malachi is starting to manhandle Red Volcano, and it's starting to get a little dangerous. Luna even jumps forward, and Master X Malachi with a big redirect just a little bit above, and suddenly it's set point for Seraphim Crimson. They're alive.
And they're back. We're seeing Yugo with 3 orb stacks, kind of tangling with Evil Juggler that entire point, while I Love Dog Girls and Master Malachi were just kind of 2v1ing Red Volcano. So Seraphim Crimson, when they're in their element, they're looking really good, and I think despite what's been happening the previous two sets, they're looking pretty back.
What a shot there from I Love Dog Girls. Almost had the exact angle to get that in. Banks it off the bottom instead, but it does at least give them a breather here. It doesn't matter though. Yugo is broken. Evil Juggler is in his face. And this is a match point for Collins Comets.
Right, standing in the corner, trying to preserve those orb stacks. Really difficult situation to be in. Again, Luna into X is super hard. If you get staggered, you just kind of are stuck not doing anything. Yugo's been walking up a lot, playing in the midfield to get away from this X. Oh!
No,
but it doesn't matter.
Again.
He's unfortunately a little bit too close to the wall, just shot down right there. But I Love Dog Girls here, ready to hold. Juno Goalie also having similar problems as Luna, not able to deal with this X interface. But it doesn't matter because...
Ooh.
Oh, they only get one barrier off of it. Master X Malachi is making the push forward. Getting ready to grab another barrier.
But the puck gets past them for just a second. Evil Juggler cannot manage to do anything with it. But he is just standing on Yugo almost all of these points. It's really tough for this Luna to get anything done. This is a massive point. Obviously, a lot of core flips are online, and there's two less. Mac misses, and that dribble doesn't quite do it. Yugo not jumping back to that eject button because he knows that there's an angry X on the other end of it. And Collins Comets managed to get that last barrier. Maybe Master X Malachi with the burst can't quite get it past Max. But eventually they do. Red Volcano puts it in, and an amazing Giga Blast from Max seals the game for Collins Comets.
Yeah, whoa, the downtown Giga Blast. A beautiful shot, puts it in. Seraphim Crimson almost bringing it back. Really strong performance. But Collins Comets, I think putting on a very surprising and great play. I think Seraphim Crimson, who's been here before, is a known quantity. We know that they're a good team and that they can perform. Collins Comets just kind of showed up round one. I guess round two, because both these teams got a bye due to seeding. Round two, just showing up and winning. Winning against a team that I think is looking strong in Osas.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really surprised. Hey, shout out to Collins Comets. Hey, shout outs to Seraphim Crimson too, who's been here quite often. And again, it's a good team who's definitely performing well. I would love to see them make God's Strongest Losers run right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Seraphim Crimson are a team that can show up any day, pull out a really close match, pull out a great win. That third set, they looked a little bit back to what I would expect from them. Maybe they didn't get quite the warm-up they wanted, I'm not sure. But you know what? That's the warm-up game now, and now you got to go on that loser's run. And I think they can do it. It's a matter of doing it at this point. Looking through the rest of the matches, I don't think we have any other matches done. So it may be a few minutes until we get to our next on-stream match here.
Oh, it's stalling time. Absolutely. Hey, I just to kick off the bat, I want to point out that Evil Juggler that game had 36 redirects. We're watching the replays right now and seeing a rare handful of them. The few moments that X touches the core. But as the Brawler motto goes, all of those redirects were incredibly important. And big day. And 13 shots to 5 goals. A great turnover rate too. Honestly, just brilliant X lore all around.
Called efficiency.
Yeah, peak scorer in the building. Only touch rock to put it in, and that's it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, who else is playing right now. There's only one team that is not playing right now. So I'm gonna go look at them. It's Matthew, Malone, and Doxy. Okay, that's a good team, and they are one of the teams we're gonna see next. We will end up
Ooh.
seeing animal style munchie meal against the winner of the Sleepyheads and the Yes Squad, and that's also a round 2 match. Colin's comments are up into the top 8 winners side. Remember, top 2 in winners side both qualify for the OSAS finale on insert date here that I don't know.
In 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. That's a date that I also don't know, but hey, I'm gonna, as subtly as possible, take a peek at the calendar.
December 6th or 7th. I don't know how many days are in November.
December 7th.
7. Hey, we're good.
Yeah.
I had it. I can add 21.
But hey, I can't. I looked at the calendar.
Let's see. I'm really interested. How many teams did we have in this bracket today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 2. Plus 4. That's 20 teams today, and 4 of them are going to qualify. So there is absolutely still a chance here for Seraphim Crimson, and I'm excited to see them push forward in losers. I really do think they can do it.
Right, it's gonna take God's strongest run to get there. Have to win their next 5 games if they want to qualify. But I am a believer.
You know who I'm a believer of? Sleepyheads, who just managed to beat the Yes Squad, and they will be facing Animal Style Munchie Meal on stream next.
Wow.
Luke, go ahead.
I'm excited for Animal Style Munchie Meal. I'm thinking about Munchie Meals right now. I'm hungry.
Is Animal Style Munchie Meal a real thing that you can order at In-N-Out? I know Animal Style things are, but I don't know what the Munchie Meal is.
I also don't know what the Munchie Meal is, but hey, I'm gonna walk in to an In-N-Out sometime and say, "Give me the Munchie Meal," and promptly get removed from the premises, and that's okay because I gave it my all.
You'll have learned. That's what's valuable there. You try things so you learn them, and that's what tournaments like this are all about. Even when you play these games, you get so much experience. It's certainly different playing in an organized team versus playing randoms and comp, and you can't really get quite that same experience anywhere else besides these tournaments. So I'm really happy to see that we have teams turning out here for this OSAS.
I feel the same way, and hey, aspiring tournament players, write that down. Tournament play is just like walking into In-N-Out and getting kicked out.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
I learned that from Talladega Nights. But I mean is you come into an OSAS, and you just do your best. You get that practice. You come back stronger. When I played in it in season 1, my team went 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, and we did not qualify the first 3 weeks. But week 4, we finally got that 4-0, and it felt so good. I truly believe that getting over that hill is such a good feeling, and 4 of these teams are going to do that today. They are going to qualify. That will happen.
That will happen. 4 teams will make it. I think you are right. It might not be the first time. It might not be the third time. Sometimes 4's the magic number. Sometimes it's 6. It all depends, but it takes a little bit of time.
It takes a little bit of time. The experience is worth it. The practice is great.
Yeah, the more you play in tournament, the better you will be in tournament. Hey, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So, and OSAS will always be a great place to get a ton of tournament experience. To show up, run the bracket, If you get it this week, hey, 2 thumbs up. You're in, great. If you don't get it this week, there's always next week.
Hey, Dooboom's in the chat. Furret went 3-1 when they first tried, and they got second place in that first tournament. They went on a tear. They got hot, they played well, they practiced, they played better, they won more.
Yeah,
they almost won the whole thing.
Yeah, so to all you Osas players in there already or signing up right now, go sign up right now. Week 5 next week. Actually, not next week. Next week's Thanksgiving
2
in
weeks.
the old United States. So don't sign up for... Oh, wait, hey.
Please.
The finals might be in 4 weeks then. Hey, December 14th, everyone.
Well, if it's 5, 6... Oh, yeah, you're right. It's the 14th. We're both... it's fine. We just forgot that Thanksgiving existed.
Right, but hey, in 2 weeks, you can sign up for week 5, so consider that.
We are getting players into the lobby. They will be doing the bans, and we will get that to you as soon as we can. But I'm talking about Thanksgiving already, and I'm going to take 2 seconds to say, what's your favorite Thanksgiving food, Yoshi? You got a favorite thing that you cook or eat?
No, not really.
Ooh, okay.
I guess, I don't know, I like the turkey because I like the meat.
You like the meat? Are you an Arby's?
Yeah, I was actually just about to say I'm Arby's incarnate.
You have the meat.
I love the meat. Also, being informed, not even by production in the production channel, just in chat right now, that hey, sign up for OSAS finals next week. Thanksgiving is fake. It's not real. Be thankful that we've got another tournament running actually, because week 5 will be next week, and actually finals is on the 7th. So.
Oh, Yoshi, I have the bracket up here on my other monitor, and I just see on the left side Osas finale December 7th, and I just went, oh, right.
Oh, hey.
I could have simply looked at any point.
Well, I also had the bracket open, and it happens, and it's okay. You know.
All right. Come over, Yoshi. I'll make you the sausage stuffing for Thanksgiving. I always make it every year. It's really delicious. You can have some.
That does sound awesome.
We do have a map change. I believe we're headed to Oni Village this time. We were at Night Market last time. Players are starting to ready up. We have, I'm going to do my best here, Malone, Ma2, and Doxy for Animal Style Munchie Meal versus Naptime 1, Aluk 1, and La Terrador Omega for the Sleepyheads, complete with the little Octavia yawning emote. So that's perfect.
Yeah, hey, if nothing else, they are thematically on brand. But here we are, loading into game. We're about to get some riveting Oni Village gameplay. I'm excited. Oni Village not currently in the competitive pool. Instead, it's Aten City. But hey, as respectfully as possible, handshakes all around. Oni Village might be a little bit more exciting than Aten City.
I'm looking at these players here. Aluk with that yawning Octavia has almost 200 Octavia games. Naptime has 450 games on Asher goalie, so I think it's likely we'll see that if we don't get a ban here. But we'll see what happens. Ma2 is also hovering that Octavia. And this is Animal Style Munchie Meal is seeded as one of the teams to beat in this bracket today. And the Octavia is coming off. Nobody wants to deal with this character anymore. Get her out of here.
I mean, Octavia is a bit of a pick or ban character. You either play her or you don't play against her. There will not be a situation where one team picks Octavia and the other doesn't, because, oopsie, I think the team with the Octavia would be favored in that situation. Wait, we also saw a Zentaro ban, which is interesting. I don't know if Matu is a famous Zentaro player, but hey, maybe sleepyheads just don't want to deal with it, and that is fair.
Matu has a pretty good Zentaro, 62% win rate over almost 50 games in ranked, but let's get into this game now. Let's see what they've got. Monumentalist Super Surge starts.
Oh, well, hey.
The goalies
Today I've discovered why they banned Zentaro.
Yeah.
Surge on board. Manu for both the goalies here, though, I think is a great pickup to have.
Ooh.
And we're seeing for animal style Munchie Meal, they're pulling up with a Erasmus Estelle in the forward midfield positions. But both barriers are down for animal style right now.
What
looking a little dangerous.
What an angle there from Aluk there, putting it in, but a great primary from Matu equalizes, no barriers for anyone. Almost a core flip for nap time, but we'll see what happens. Pretty standard stuff, passing it back and forth. Good chance here for animal style, but that core flip that we were just mentioning, nap time pulls it out. Doxy with a rose warp to put it in past nap time. 1-0 for the Munchie Meal.
Yeah, nap time was looking awake that whole time, but fortunately caught sleeping when the rose warp came out. You know, bam, jump scare, Estelle in your face. And something I was going to talk about was just these team comps. I think, hey, you got to slow down. I'm trying to yap. Hold on. I think this Estelle Rasmus combo. Estelle is one of the top midfielders on this map. I think there's been an exploration of other picks, but Estelle is really strong with all this open space, and Rasmus similarly is really strong as one of the brawler picks that has more core control and is able to maneuver the core around in this open space. So still Rasmus is a very popular comp, and Rasmus Matu here just gets to strike it up in the top corner. Wow.
Luke seemed like they were having a little bit of trouble with that Oni Village speed zone there. Could not quite get hold of it, and now it's looking quite rough here for the Sleepyheads. A couple of core flips here ready for Animal Style Munchie Meal, but a successful defense immediately, and it's just one barrier each. That's totally fine. That Manu comes into play there for nap time, but cannot quite get it out of there. Loses the other barrier, but manages to stop Matu from getting the goal, at least for now. But this is a pretty good thing, and that was a great setup, and that's the same shot that Matu put in last time. Just follow the core up there and make nap time guess, and guessed wrong. 3-0 for Animal Style Munchie Meal.
Yep, Matu just walking it in, and now we're seeing a lot on this board. We're seeing Orb Dancer, stacks on stacks being picked up, often considered one of the best awakenings on this map. Because hey, when you have this much space, just getting around is super important. I'm surprised no Orb Dancer pickups yet at all. I think especially for Atlas here would be a great pick. Takes primetime instead, opting for more abilities, going on the defensive. We see Latirador take Spark of Agility, which also makes sense. Just any and all speed you can pick up is great. Oh, and the jump scare double doinker.
That's the classic double doink here. Sleepyheads get the goal open quite quickly here. Aluk seems to be feeling a little better on that speed here, but this is a great chance for Doxy, and that Estelle primary is excellent. Takes the last barrier, opens it up. Nothing nap time can do about that. Aluk and Latirador try and combine there on offense, but cannot quite get it, and Matu has it again, takes a shot, pulls it back, and takes the other shot, because nap time guessed right this time, and that was not allowed.
Right, and Matu with the mix-up of a Sentry, just dicing up nap time here, taking a Luna ult in a response. But really, I think a lot of this game is coming down to just in these team comps. We're seeing for Munchie Meal just two players that are piloting their characters really well, and their characters are well suited for this map. Whereas I think I think Atlas has been shot dead.
You can't do that to
Malone.
your brother, Luna. You can't do that. A Tirador with a great missile manages to take Malone off the map, but great defense there from Mod2 and Doxy to make sure the last barrier stays safe, and Sleepyheads remain without a single point. 2 core flips used for them, and they still can't get the barrier, and Mod2's secondary pushes it into the top corner. 2-0 again.
Yeah, hitting the whiplash on him and sending it right in. Mod2 looking incredibly well practiced on this Rasmus here. Knows the angles, is very familiar, and it's just picking up these barriers left and right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking really good for Animal Style Munchie Meal. That's an interesting core flip. I love to see that from a Juno. But ooh, actually, that's a great save from Naptime as well. I thought for sure with the Rasmus and Estelle primaries combined, it would go down. It does eventually. Doesn't take away from what a good save it was. But Doxy's primary into the top corner, and 2 sets immediately gone to Animal Style Munchie Meal. Can the Sleepyheads wake up in set 3?
Yeah, Animal Style is going Animal Style out here. Kind of sweeping through. You see aerials on the board. Yep, hovered by Doxy. Great pickup there. Oh, Quick Strike. Hey. And we're back. Quick Strike being picked up by Letiador, understanding, hey, we need a little bit more core control if we want to start getting these barriers. And a Quick Strike might have been nerfed. Probably still pretty good. It's going to be great for winning those strike wars, knocking them down, getting there. Cast Blast being picked up by Aluk. I wonder if they're just going entirely for that extra slime duration, or if they meant to deny.
I don't think there's much to deny here, but probably for the slime duration. Naptime very interestingly has Monu Timeless, so with that ult, it will create some situations where it's very tough for them to push through, but if you don't use it, they can push through anyway, and that's exactly what happens there again. Animal Style are just really, really good here at combining their abilities to create opportunities just like that, and are also just winning these strike wars. Great Rose Warp there from Doxy, creates pressure, but has to elusive, and the Atlas ult's dropped too, just in case. That Luna ult looked scary from La Tirador, but what's scarier is Mod2 with the core one-on-one, again, puts it past Naptime.
Right, Naptime might have Monu and Timeless. Also makes the passive barrier on the primary really big, which is, as it turns out, pretty frustrating to deal with. But it looks like Naptime didn't have any abilities at last point. Wasn't able to do anything with Matu in their face. But barriers down for both sides. Matu is looking to put it in right here, but a core flip comes out and defends it.
Aluk has the right... Go ahead.
Both these teams are just fighting for possession here.
Look like... oh, wow, there we go. Aluk finally just beats Malone in a strike war. Garfield, who had burst, and Sleepyheads have life. Their first goal of this game, of this set. And we're looking for this. I'm hoping. Let's make it a game here. I believe in the Sleepyheads.
Sleepyheads rise and grind. It's time, but unfortunately, that's both their barriers down. So, and
good,
looking a little tough.
Good clear there from Naptime. Manages to get it up and even get another barrier. A lot of the time, you can see La Tirador and Aluk going for these plays, but there's just so many interceptions here from Doxy and Ma2. they are really jumping on these passes and not allowing Sleepyheads to get them for free. The level advantage is so big too, and it's match point already for Animal Style Munchie Meal.
Yeah, Doxy and Matu just looking really strong out here. Both doing incredibly well to just pick up these barriers and get in the face of the Sleepyheads, and now they're taking their shots to score.
Oh, pushing forward there again, but that primary from Matu will seal the deal. The Sleepyheads are going down to the losers bracket. We'll see if they can make a run. Animal Style Munchie Meal, at least for now, living up to their seeding, pushing forward and trying to get one of those 4 Osas spots up for grabs today.
Right, Animal Style coming out with a dominant performance. Matu with 7 goals. Huge. And Sleepyheads, hey, sometimes you wake up, you're getting ready, or hey, slow down. You wake up, your head hits the pillow again, and then suddenly it's another few hours later. You say, "Uh-oh, let time go." Hey, there's always a time to wake up once more, get ready, get back into it. So I hope to see a Sleepyheads loser run. Get in there, sweep through.
They already have a win today. They did beat the Yes Squad. They are not. They are definitely going home with a win if they end up leaving. But Animal Style Munchie Meal really showing why they are one of the tournament favorites today. This is a very, very strong team, and I'm not surprised to see them push so hard so quickly. Looking at the rest of the bracket, Nameless and Collins Comets are going at it now for one of those semifinal spots. Animal Style Munchie Meal will play Seraphim Oxblood. ICBM is playing against the Platinum Board. I've seen that team around quite a bit. And we, Yoshi, are getting the pleasure of casting Everybody Loves Dubu against the Chads.
Oh wow, 2 teams that have been around for a while now. I'm super excited. Everyone loves Dubu sporting C Cross and J Cross. and the Chads having Chad Dudeski in the goal box, the legend himself, the man of the hour.
Oh,
I'm excited for that one. Oh, and they're already in here in the lobby.
Oh, they are?
Don't have to wait long. Don't go anywhere. They're here ready to go, likely banning maps right as we speak.
As we speak. I'm interested to see where we end up. We've seen Oni, we've seen Night Market. I really would not be surprised to see Atlas. I really want to see Clarion Corp or Demon Days, but I think those are the ones that are least likely to get picked today.
Show me Demon Days.
Show me Demon Days.
Let's get wacky. Let's get wild. Get something good, or Clarion, like you said. Hey,
yeah,
they're both good.
Show me Inkies. Not in the rotation.
Nope. Out of the rotation. Don't show me Inkies.
Show me Obscura. That map is gone.
That map is currently being fixed. Okay, I'm gonna say it.
It doesn't need to be fixed. Keep it out. Keep it out.
Hey, upon my soapbox, I will say, I miss Inkies. No. I miss Obscura.
I miss Inkies.
It'll slip. I do not miss Inkies. I miss Obscura.
It's okay.
I like that map a lot, and then it stopped working.
It's okay, Yoshi. We're both about to have one wrong opinion. I can like Inkies and you can like Obscura. Amy's app is missing too. I wonder if that'll come. I'm sure that'll come back eventually. I'm surprised it's gone, I'll be honest. Looks like we do have a map selection.
Stop killing.
Looks like we do have a map selection, and we are back to Night Market.
trapped in Night Market.
Notoriously one of the slower maps, but that first match was not slow. Thank you, Lyco in the chat. Thank you. Inkies is good, and just win the kickoff. Play better.
No, I don't want to. I want to play a game that lasts longer than 10 seconds each point. Please.
I love the speed of it. Cue me up again. That's the beta speed that we wanted.
Back to beta.
Back to beta. Looking at these teams that were sitting in front of us here, Everybody Loves Dubu versus the Chads. We are queuing up. There's C Cross and J Cross on Everybody Loves Dubu. I'm gonna mess that up. I'm gonna mess that up, Yoshi.
Hey, it's C Cross, C for containing the core in the out of the gold box, and J Cross for jamming out in the midfield.
Hell yeah! You know what? You got that Uniqueler Under Night fighting game player. I didn't notice that one. 3 Juliet bans being hovered here by Everybody Loves Dubu. Probably unsurprising. And the Luna ban, that's a little surprising to me, but I have not been watching Osas recently because I've been busy, so who knows? Maybe that's right. Yeah, that's right. J Cross has 300 Luna games. Sorry.
Wow. Okay, Luna. I believe Night Market is widely considered her worst map, but maybe we're looking at like a Deadeye start or something. I would also ban Luna on a Deadeye start on any map, because I would play Luna on a Deadeye start on any map. You know. And oh my god, the Chad's pulling up with X-Era Atlas to help them out. And here we're seeing this Estelle Rasmus comp again with Atlas on them. Different map. Might not play to their strengths as well as something like Oni Village, but still a great team comp nonetheless. We're looking at a peak performance built diff start. Both the forwards of each team took built diff, looking a little bit bigger than usual. Getting ready to get down and dirty in there. And I have to say, Era X on Night Market is a timeless classic. You know, how can you go wrong?
It's a little bit of a terror. I'm interested to see the siphoning wand here from J Cross. Not what I would expect of an Estelle here. Great dribbling there from Peter M. Gets the second barrier. C Cross can't do anything about that. And Peter M gets a great strike there right after C Cross. Nothing up. Level 1. 1-0 for the Chads.
Yeah, Peter M able to get enough XP to get that level 2 and using it to get that extra size and therefore extra strike reach to strike it in right past C-Cross in a great strike whirlwind too. Brilliant patience. Peter M really demonstrated a great performance in that 1 point there.
Some great defending there from Chad Dudesky, not letting Carmine get that second barrier. The first one does go down for Everybody Loves Dubu, and an early burst comes from Peter M, but can't quite get anything from it. Zenith has that burst now, but Peter M does not need it. Just that X ult, again, like you said, giving that extra strike range, extra size, and that's enough. But Carmine with a great Rasmus ult stops Zenith's core flip in its tracks, puts it on the top corner where Chad Dudesky can't do anything about it.
Yeah, making the name Death Touch live up to it with that ability, hooking it right out of the core flip and putting it, like you said, right where Chad Dudesky can't reach. Oh, incredible play. Carmine now sitting on a core flip, probably looking to use that. Probably hoping to use it soon because things are getting a little dangerous, but doesn't need it for that barrier.
Oh no! It hit the barrier as it was closing and it bounced all the way back. Demon angle, never expect that. And that's a goal for the Chads, and Carmine's got to be sighing a little bit after that one. I know how that feels.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but the Night Market angles will come for us all one day. You gotta shake it off and get moving. the next point, but yeah, super unlucky. But Carmine's still in there, dribbling it up at half health. I don't know where it all went, but
Ooh. Great passes. Great passing from Zenith and Peter. J-Cross and Carmine can't do anything about it, and C-Cross can't do anything about that point blank core flip. And the Chads take advantage of that miscue and take the first set. Peter M gets first pick. And is there anything here that X really likes?
hey, there's a lot of great awakenings for X here. Chrono Boost might be the best one, and hey, picked up a little bit of extra duration on the X Maximus. Size being picked up by Carmine. Now that is a double-sized Rasmus, 50% larger, looking good. And Fight or Flight nerfed just today from 20% to 15% percent on each hit or get hit. But hey, with slick kicks, that's still 45% speed every time you strike the ball on top of 50 or on top of bonus stagger from peak performance. Zenith will be moving quickly around this field. I mean, look, just watch a speed bust from every strike. You just can do anything.
So much pressure here from the Chads pushing forward. Eventually, Peter M gets broken, runs away from the Atlas ult. Not really what you want to do, but that's okay. If Chad Dudski can hold up, he cannot, though. Carmine and J-Cross combined. Great grab again from that Rasmus ult. Just out of range of Chad's Atlas primary.
Yeah, kind of exposing the common weaknesses of Atlas. Hey, he's a little immobile. Doesn't really get around much. No, he likes to sit there, camp the barrier, hold it down, so open net makes it a little dangerous. A little hard to deal with, and Carmine taking full advantage of that. And sitting on another core flip, he likes to use it, gets both barriers now. Once again, Atlas excels in holding the barrier, so if you're able to use your resources to get it, the open net's a little bit easier to deal with.
Interesting to see Peter M just trying to hit C-Cross here. Burns his burst, and great weight there from Carmine, looking to rectify that mistake from the first set. Gets a quick 2-0 for Everybody Loves Dubu in this one.
Yeah, Carmine was able to just walk with the core, and with how big they are because of these two size awakenings, Chad Dudski really couldn't hit it anywhere that wouldn't be inside of Carmine's strike hitbox as they were walking with it, and you know, that just secured the goal. And Carmine looking to cook it up real quick. Once again, doing the Rasmus special. Death touch. Unable to find this last barrier just yet. Oh, but J-Cross, Crystal Thorns, will just be nabbing that barrier just like that. Fortunately, has to deal with the menace that is Peter M with the Chrono Boost X ult.
Ooh, great tornado there from Zenith. Gets burst for themselves and also gets a barrier, but good use of the burst from C-Cross. Make sure nothing happens, and that Rasmus primary is scary, dude.
Right, vicious, and again, just much larger. I'm gonna keep talking about it because Rasmus with size is such a threat. But when you're able to reach that much farther with your primary, you'll just be knocking people out for free, especially on night market. The lanes are narrow, and you find yourself up against the walls often. It's tough, and that's a twin drive on the board. Carmine, you have a mission. I believe you understand it. Hold. Yep, and there it is.
There it is.
Yeah, but perfect form on the Atlas. Something I like pointing out because I learned in 5 months into the game. Is perfect form procs on your healing pulses on Atlas. You just get 16 light hits for doing nothing.
That's new information for me. What's not new information is how good Castelast is on Era. Super Surge also going over to this X, and look how long that dash is. I don't know if that's the best thing in the world, but it is there, and they do have to deal with it. Just like this Timeless from Chad Dudski holds that first barrier for a while, but eventually Carmine and J-Cross are able to just put so much forward pressure. Chad Dudesky just does not have good clear angles here when the forwards for Everybody Loves Dubu are taking up so much space on the map. Every time he clears it past Carmine, J-Cross is there to put it right back up to him. Great team play there. Carmine is getting these goals, but J-Cross, with all of these passes, keeping it in, is putting so much forward pressure in, and Carmine is taking advantage of it. 1-0, Everybody Loves Dubu.
Yeah, both the forwards and Everyone Loves Dubu just putting up, like you said, insane pressure. Super hard to deal with. I think the Chads are just having a little bit of trouble getting their footing. Once they do, though, they look really nice. Able to pick up barriers from that last point really well, really confidently. Peter M having the patience of a saint. Just like that. And Strike Warrior in the building. Able to win these all. Superman with the dash. And will jump in whenever he's needed. And oh my god, Chad Dudesky. What a beautiful core flip. Oh, but Peter M has been sniped off by the core flip.
2 beautiful core flips in a row, and you're kind of in checkmate there. You gotta guessed wrong. Carmine puts it in 2-0 to Everybody Loves Dubu.
Yep, Everyone Loves Dubu. Starting to run away with this game. But Era X is famous for its ability to scale, so now anything is possible. I think the Chads might get a little dangerous in these upcoming sets. Everyone Loves Dubu, definitely wanting to seal it out as quickly as possible and not allow that to happen. And right now, looking to do it. Again, running away with the game. C-Cross dropping a core flip, able to get it up to Carmine, who grabs that barrier. Once again, just performing the ancient Rasmus technique of strike primary, and it works. And there it is again, almost getting the goal. But the expanse stops it. The timeless expanse even.
Not quite enough here for the Chads, and like I was saying, J-Cross just puts it forward, and no matter what Chad Dudesky does there, Carmine is going to put it in, or J-Cross is going to. Tough to get out of that. I wonder if they'll let him have Monumentalist here immediately afterwards. I'm curious if he would even want such a thing, but I think so. But of course, the first pick is going to Carmine. Primetime is taken over Quick Strike. The Monu does go to Chad Dudesky. Quick Strike to J-Cross to keep feeding it up to Carmine, though. That's going to be a little rough to deal with.
Whoa, neither Atlas taking Orb Replicator. I'm surprised.
We saw Orb Dancer earlier and nobody picked it, I think.
Right. But, yeah, with Dancer off the board, Replicator is a lot weaker. We're picking up Replicator in hopes for Ponderer later. Never bad. Kind of surprising. C-Cross opting for Egoist instead, which honestly is a great pick. Especially, like you said, no Dancer and no stacks. An optimal situation is you find yourself already having one of the Orb Awakenings stacked up, picking Replicator. But
Xena took so much damage there, but Chad Dudesky's gigantic Atlas ult that I just realized lasts longer and must tick more for that perfect form like you were mentioning.
Oh yeah, wow.
Very interesting. Rose Warp there from J-Cross gets the barrier, and the primary from Rasmus gets the other one. Lots of pressure here from Everybody Loves Dubu, and just like that, everybody gets a piece of it. Great pass from C-Cross to J-Cross, and so much pressure from from Carmine and Jay. What can you do about that as Chad Dudesky?
Right, incredibly difficult. Both Estelle and Rasmus just have so much coverage, especially with the Awakenings they have. They are looking great, but Peter M would like to have a word with Everyone Loves Dubu. Unfortunately, they're not kind words.
Oh, good burst there from C-Cross, but still a lot of pressure here, and that Fireflight with Zenith manages to win a strike war, gets another point on the board for the Chads, and they have they've collected themselves. They are not out of this game yet. There's only a slight level disadvantage here. They can definitely bring this back, but not if J-Cross keeps hitting those. Oh.
Right. Oh my God, Peter M. Gunned down in the night market. Just completely comboed. And J-Cross walking back to grab the core. Carmine counter flipping Chad Dudesky. Unfortunately, doesn't get the barrier off of it. Now Chad Dudesky is sitting on his one barrier in a dream. As the Chads are getting to work, as Peter M is looking a little strong out here on these 4 awakenings, and the Chads, I think, I'll say it, have done a bit of scaling this game.
They've definitely scaled up. You have get the built different, the Chrono and Super Surges from Peter M, the Cast to Last from Zenith, Dax, and Fighter Flight. His Era is moving at light speed here. Manages to core flip for the lower barrier, but the puck makes it all the way back to Carmine, who gets right back to it. Respawns, immediately starts taking barriers again. Zenith manages to push forward here. Chad Dudesky also getting a part of the action, but can't quite get it in that barrier, even with the Atlas secondary used.
Yeah, both these teams just fighting to get this last barrier here.
Ooh.
Zenith having full stacks up, and Peter M gets the barrier. Oh, but now they're both down.
All barriers down. Carmine has his one-on-one, but Chad Dudesky with a great save. Can he do it again? No, he cannot. And everyone that loves Dubu is on match point. But don't forget that if the Chads can get this point and even this game up. This is a massive point. I'm really looking forward to this. And Peter M starts it off with that dash. Zenith and Peter M creating a lot of pressure here. That Tornado does not quite get it, and J-Cross wins the strike war to push them back. But there's so much pressure here, and they're doing well. The Chads are really looking for this.
The Chads need to win this point if they want to go to set 5. I think favors them so well, obviously, because this is match point. If everyone loves Dubu wins it, they win the game. You know, whoa, chilling. But set 5 Era X is such a dominant force
There's
to deal
the barrier.
with. And so picking up the barrier, they're fighting for it with everything they have, knowing that this might be the most crucial point of the game. Looking to get it right now. Chad Dudesky has been fending off this double-sized primetime twin drive Rasmus. And Peter M, the X-Maximus, is able to get it through both C-Cross and J-Cross, putting it in the corner and taking us to set 5, where Peter M is first pick on the draft.
Yeah,
and is looking to get probably specialized training.
Almost certainly.
Just between you and me, picking up aerials for the full Superman build would be awesome. It's not a game-winning play. You will not win the game having 3 dash awakenings.
You do that in the
over specialized training. Yeah, handshakes all around. Would be sick.
Chad Dudesky doomed to Spark with no Sparks left available. All of the last 3 options are Sparks there. Deadeye for J-Cross, aerials for Carmine. That dash is going to be better. That ult is going to go farther. The missile prop from C-Cross will allow him to have a lot more midfield presence, much in the same way that giant expanse allows Chad Dudesky to, but Carmine just beats it anyway, and a barrier immediately goes down. But speaking of beating, Peter M is not letting up here on Carmine. This Air Tornado looks good, but that Estelle primary looks better. Knocking Zenith off the map. That's the Deadeye. You're absolutely right, Yoshi.
Yeah, here, the Chad's on the defensive here, unfortunately. Struggling to get it out against, again, the presence and pressure that Carmine and J-Cross are putting up right now. But the Chad's ready to bring it back here. Fight back on this point. And get both barriers just like that. And Chad Dudesky flips it up to his teammates. Oh, but Peter M got too close to the wall. Denied sniping him out once again, and Carmine is able to put it in against Chad Dudesky, who, once again, is an Atlas, who is not... He doesn't... His old joints just don't move like they used to, you know? Isn't able to get around the goal box.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure here. A lot of pressure from the Chads. A lot of pressure. And both of these Atlases are just absolutely doing their best. Chad Dudesky with a great clear upwards, but that means they just go for the lower barrier. J-Cross with that core flip, but gets killed by Peter M. And an amazing save by Chad Dudesky on that Rasmus primary. Makes sure that they don't lose anything. But C-Cross loses that core flip. Enough still to dodge because of that egoist, luckily. But we'll see what happens here. They're pushing forward. J-Cross, Carmine, everybody's up again. But the pressure is still with the Chads, and there's the barriers.
Oh yeah, Peter M put on midfield duty for a moment as Zenith got in there and just was dicing up C-Cross, grabbing these barriers, winning these strike wars. And Chad Dudesky losing a barrier, able to defend it from Carmine for a little bit, but Carmine's able to sneak it through. And suddenly, the tempo is all in Everyone Loves Dubu's favor. Everybody loves Dubu. The wind in their sails. The Chads, despite being able to get to the set 5, able to bring it back from the brink and get that last draft scaling, Everyone Loves Dubu is still just beating them out.
These are some great rose warps from J-Cross, making sure to keep possession over on Everybody Loves Dubu. An amazing core flip there from Zenith takes out J-Cross. Just as I'm praising them, the caster curse is always real. Peter M and Zenith are really looking for it. Great burst, another burst, and they hold long enough for J-Cross to come back. Really, really big hold from Everybody Loves Dubu. Chads still have one barrier, but they are pushing forward. They want this point. They really want this game to keep going. Carmine has this burst that's looking a little bit scary, but it's pretty neutral right now here on... Oh, there's the burst. Great steal from Zenith, and this long X-Dash is stopped only by the Atlas secondary. Peter M with a great shot, can't quite get it. Neither can Zenith, but that's okay. They're passes if it goes in at the end. Peter M in the bottom corner, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, Peter M and Zenith putting on a beautiful offensive display. Both just taking shots at the goal, fighting for it to get in, and both covering C-Cross's clears, who's just unable to do anything. There's someone at all sides completely surrounded. But unfortunately, Zenith has been sniped down, which means the Chads have to hold this barrier if they want to win. Sitting on match point, everybody loves Dubu. Holding on, unable to, or gets the barrier after Zenith comes back. They need to score right here, or else the Chads might have the opportunity, push through. Play their win condition, try and kill someone with this X.
That core flip was not what C-Cross wanted. That one wasn't what Chad Dudesky wanted either. Was that expanse. And a great Rasmus secondary using that speed from the aerials. The secondary from the twin drive puts it in the bottom corner and sends them down to losers. The Chads go to losers. Everybody Loves Dubu holds up their seed, advances again into a qualifier match. But that was a heck of a push there from the Chads. I feel like they did great. And actually, you know what? I'm looking at losers. They're against Seraphim Crimson next.
Wow. A battle of titans there. Yeah, I mean, the Chads almost brought it back, put on an insane performance, and were almost able to clutch it out in the end. Unfortunately, not quite there, but understandable as everybody loves Dubu. Also put on a great performance. I mean, 12 goals by Carmine is just hard to beat. I'll say it. 12 goals, 0 assists. Obviously, all 12 goals being scored. A one-man wonder of receive the core, put it in.
You know
So
what?
just
Go ahead.
brutal.
They had a game plan. Get it to Carmine. And you know
Hey,
what?
get it,
Got it to
Carmine.
Carmine. They did it. They did exactly what they wanted to do, exactly what they needed to do. And their reward for this game is a matchup with the Platinum Horde for a spot in the Osas finale.
Right, winner of that game gets to qualify. On the other side of the bracket, Nameless sitting waiting in waiting for their qualifier opponent to be decided. Take a peek at losers bracket. Like you said earlier, Seraphim Crimson will be facing off against. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I have brain rot. Yeah, we'll be facing off against the Chads.
Yep.
An incredibly decisive battle. Collins Comets also sitting there. A couple in round 3 has to win in round 5 if they want to qualify. And then CHK Esports. Yeah, I got it right. I thought I'd.
You got it right. You got it right.
Yeah, whoa. Which. I'm not sure if they're new. CHK, in my head, makes me think Chikara, but I don't think that's a Chikara team, so. Hey, CHK Esports.
Right?
Right, that was my thought, but. Hey, I don't know. Either way, 0-7 to them, sitting waiting for their opponent to show up.
The Sleepyheads just won! The Sleepyheads just took out Gapped Guys and Losers. They will be facing ICBM. The winner versus the winner of the Chads and Seraphim Crimson might be a lot of the teams that we saw already on stream clashing down there. But you know what? Someone else is going to be casting those, Yoshi.
Right, it's time. Our our time on this cast is done. We will be signing off. Going to a quick break. We swap casters, so don't go anywhere. Hey, maybe go somewhere and like grab a drink, grab a snack.
Get some water. Get some water.
Yeah, hey, take care of yourself. It's break time. But hey, don't close this tab or else terrible, horrible things will happen and the sun will explode. So don't go anywhere, but like in a spiritual sense.
Go somewhere, but come back very quickly.
Yeah, but please come back. I'm on my hands and knees, begging and screaming, and I'll be horribly distraught if you do not come back. Please, I'm begging you. Anyway,
all right, we're getting out of here, Yoshi.
Enough stalling. It's our time is up. Unfortunately, no more. So
goodbye.
Osas will be right back. Goodbye.
Welcome back to Osas. I'm here with Izanagi. We're here. We're going over some qualifying matches for the big one happening in a few weeks. Izanagi, you excited for this next match?
Oh, absolutely. We've got some heavy hitting contenders with Everybody Loves Dubu and the Platinum Horde.
Yeah, the Platinum Horde, a team that played yesterday in Westy Wednesday, had to play some good teams, so not too much. I don't have too much to go off them other than that. They actually, interesting enough, lost to Winners POV, which is a team that's somewhat reminiscent of Animal Style Munchie Meal, which is on the other side of bracket, who they will not. I don't think they can possibly play them. But also just two, it's cool to see teams in OSAS playing in other tournaments and kind of battling each other out there as well. But we did just see a little bit out of Everybody Loves Dubu getting a really close win over the chats. I don't know if you caught any of that, Izanagi.
Yeah, I did actually. I caught the tail end of it and they really clutched out a close win. And honestly, it's a pretty big change from their performance last week. They were really close to qualifying as well, but they turned it around and now they've got another shot.
Yeah, so let's see if they can turn the shot into something good as we start to head into the lobby. We're playing on Night Market, which is going to be a repeat from last map for Everybody Loves Dubu, so they should be feeling pretty comfy. We'll see if they pick the same comp or if they try to go for something different.
Should be interesting no matter what comp they pick, especially with the new patch and all the different awakenings that have been rotated out and a lot of the different strikers that we could potentially see just pop out into Night Market.
Night Market. I've been trying to make some teams pick up the new meta style Yo era goalie of two brawlers. Hasn't really picked up in OSAS yet, but that comp is crazy, especially on damage start. Something like Tempo Swing, which no longer exists. But if it did exist, it would be pretty dang good. But yeah, seeing a lot of hovers we expect, and if you're not going to play Julie on this map, you're probably going to be banning it.
Absolutely. An Erasmus ban coming out on the other side. Let's see. Everybody Loves Dubu. Carmine is usually known for his Rasmus, but let's see what he pulls out this time. Ooh,
Kazan. This is really surprising. It's going to be very interesting because I think last game Carmine was really like the main goal scorer with that Rasmus and was kind of a threat on that. But now it's not going to have that same goal scoring. Kazan kind of has a lot more trouble finding those goals in these 1v1 situations. But J Cross is picking the Estelle, is going to be able to help that out. And still, Kazan can score. It's just a lot more difficult. And it's Orb Ponder plus extra special start. And a little bit of I would call it not being a nowhere moment. Orb Ponder is extremely powerful on goalie especially, because you're forcing everyone to deny any other orb awakenings, and it's just really good on its own because you're never getting KO'd. But extra special picked up instead. We'll see if that comes in. The healing ends up mattering and coming in clutch at all. But interesting draft start.
For sure, and we'll have to see how they can take advantage of orbs, especially with so few orbs on the map and nobody else really picking them up. Jiggle Supreme getting a really good Summer Assault to save the barrier.
Yeah. 12-foot Fortress is not going to be enough to stop it from the next barrier from being taken, but J Cross and C Cross, the Cross duo, defending these two barriers really well together, making sure nothing gets past. Honestly, not even making C Cross touch the core at all, which is pretty nice. But it's going to still, like, again, even on this open goal, what's this character's name? Kazan. His Kazan pick is going to have a lot more trouble. But look at that, C Cross taking a lot of damage. Luckily, has the ultimate up. The Celestial Intervention is not going to be enough, though. See, J-Cross moving up now. 1v1 versus the goalie, isn't able to score. Now, chance for Asher, but its Sly is going to be staggered instead. And it's going to try and get a 1v1, but there's 3 people surrounding. You're getting really low. You're probably going to get KO'd if you can't get some help. But no help comes, and instead, it's J-Cross and Carmine who are now possession of the core. They're moving up in the 2v2 situation. There's a flip here from Jiggle Supreme, so it should be enough to save it, and it is. But even with the core cleared up, Sly has not had to find a chance to recover, but does. Turbo has this flip. I don't want to use it. This is an insane first point, by the way, but that's what finishes it. The great spots the bottom corner open. Dubu does not have enough speed to get there, and that's the first goal.
Seems like Jiggle Supreme just didn't trust Turbo 24 to hold out the top and didn't cover bottom, so Carmine spotted the angle and just sunk it right in.
Yeah, and that's kind of goals they need to be able to find when they don't have the same shoving potential or core control as characters like Rasmus or traditional brawlers, I would say. Or quote-unquote traditional brawlers. It's hard to say Kazan isn't a traditional brawler, but oh, great KO from Sly, saying, hey, you banned my Julie, but I can still dash punch with this other character that has the abilities to dash and then punch afterwards. But still, it's not going to be as easy to find those as the game progresses, and C-Cross has this extra special, so it should be able to help out in the future.
We improvise our dash punches a little bit. Every character has a dash punch if you think about it.
That's
just
real.
Combine the abilities.
No, that's so real. And if you don't have a punch, you just have flip, and it's the same
True.
thing.
True. If you have a dash in your kit, you could dash punch, but X-Sly finding a good, or just getting a good volley to C-Cross and able to sink it right past him, strike cooldown not coming up in time.
Yeah, some great strike war wins there. Get that goal. Just working together. Good, like Turbo being aware of where to strike it after winning the strike war, which is sometimes hard because sometimes people focus a little too hard on, hey, I gotta win this strike war, and not thinking about why do I want to strike war? How do I want to strike war? How is strike war doing today?
Why is strike war?
Why is strike war? And that's the questions they're going to be asked, but this is a Kazan moment. Sorry's popping out here, but it gets one back in return, though, and gets the goal. Says, I'm so sorry, guys. I really didn't mean to own barrier that. Please forgive me. I just carried the entire round afterwards.
Carmine is just different. He got 3 barriers in one play.
That's so real. Yeah, there's a little bit of a 3Z moment. 3Z breezy angle into the double barrier, into the goal. He's kind of an insane player, really. Much like Kazan, the character in lore, one might say. Chatting.
Absolutely insane. We got it.
Insane. Oh, here's the flip, though. I was going to say, Sly, again, really low, but has the energy burst and is able to find an opportunity to use it before getting KO'd. And now, hey, you're not getting KO'd, and you got the goal. So that's pretty good, but you don't have a low energy here. If they can find a way to target that, especially with Kazan and all the damage Kazan can do, that could be a way to go. But Kazan, if no damage start, is going to need a little bit more to scale, but you don't really need to scale damage if you just get both barriers, which Carmine does very, very well there. It's using the dash to maneuver around. Playing this really interesting, like, scoring Kazan, and it's been working really well. The passes move up, good connections being found. J-Cross finds another one. Carmine, though, tries to get the mix-up, but Jiggle Supreme is able to catch it with the Summer Assault. Now J-Cross is going to build up flip soon. It's going to be really helpful for scoring this unless they get KO'd, but there's this intervention, but doesn't matter. Goal found once again. It's Carmine.
It seems like Turbo 24 either isn't covering enough or just not cutting off the passing lanes. He's kind of playing a little bit of second goalie right now, which isn't really what you want to see. I mean, but these awakenings should hopefully get them a little more ahead of Everybody Loves Dubu.
Yeah, see a pretty interesting draft. Timeless Creator taken. Okay, new Quick Strikes. I'm really interested to see new Quick Strikes, though. So new Quick Strikes has been nerfed by 5% after being nerfed previously already. So I want to really see if this makes a difference. We see Dubu takes the Orb Dancer. See, imagine if Dubu had taken Orb Ponder, had 10 Orb stacks right now, and then had Orb Dancer. Then it would be absolutely ridiculous. But Extra Special is obviously extremely powerful on Dubu. So not going to blame Jiggle so much for that one, but this Orb Dancer is going to scale nonetheless. And in the future, if we see an Orb Ponder, or Orb Replicator rather, show up, it has to be denied from Dubu, or it's straight up like game over most of the time. So things to look out for.
One could argue that Orb Ponder is just Extra Special, but better.
But better. I would argue that. I would argue exactly that, and I have argued that exact point actually, like before. And so I'm glad you brought that up. But oh no, Jiggle Supreme. There's all the abilities out. All the lasagna's on the floor. And Carmine's just scooping it all up and saying, ooh, free dinner.
We definitely are smashing our keyboards a little bit, but sometimes when you get in those panic situations, it's a little bit hard to keep up.
It is. I want to put a little bit of attention on the Sly real quick. I was talking about the dash punch earlier. A while ago, they nerfed the primary. There you go. Hey. Hey, just talking about the dash punch. There you go. Sly hits it. Took pummelers this game. Kind of helps if you want to be dash punching with Asher, because some people don't like dash punching with Asher at all because it's just a little bit less consistent. But with this 1-2 punch plus pummelers, it's really pretty equivalent to at least a default Julie dash punch, if not better, especially considering 1-2 punch doesn't require the dash to be used on Asher. When you use your primary, you get a little barrier in front of you, and you can run that into someone to deal a little bit of damage, and then that'll be the first one, the first hit, and then your actual beam will be the second hit for your 1-2 punch. But KO found with the Maelstrom, so good stuff from Turbo, and let's see if they can make something out of this power play.
Interesting. I didn't actually know that about 1-2 punch on Asher, with the barrier counting as an additional hit.
Yeah, it's pretty dang strong. Tempo swing out of the game now also would have been like 1-2 punch tempo swing on Asher. You're just straight up one-shotting people with just your primary, which gets a little ridiculous. But goodbye tempo swing. Hello orbs. As Sly dribbles up field, and the flip will be used very early to make sure that that barrier's not taken, and they're able to get one in return. But it's Sly. Whoa, insane bounce there. Is able to keep the core up. But Jiggle Supreme, you're scaring me a little bit. You're making me a little nervous, making everyone a little nervous. But good flip. There's a really fast score to overtime, hitting really hard right now. And we see the 1-2 punch coming into effect, even just on strikes. Asher is going to be really, really good at hitting his core really, really hard. But Jiggle Supreme is just a little too slow once again to reach that bottom corner. And Carmine takes another one for the side of Dubu.
A little unfortunate from the Platinum board there. They're just not able to get the core up to its Sly. Like, it just seems like Turbo 24 is still just hanging back in the goal box a little too much and not winning those midfield interactions enough to give Sly those scoring opportunities. But well played to Everybody Loves Dubu. Their coordination is on point, it seems.
Yeah, I was hesitant. I was like, Kazan? I don't like Kazan. I'm not a big Kazan fan. But now I am a Kazan fan. I'm a big fan of this Carmine Kazan, who, even though like you expect to see like the huge damage and huge KOs, it's just occasionally finding the damage, but always finding the KOs. Or occasionally finding the damage and always finding the goals. And look there, the stagger ended up being good for Estelle, who is a character that's pretty good at finishing KOs. Any two abilities combo together usually should find a KO on a staggered target. So it's good to have an Estelle paired up with this Kazan. Oh, Kazan, a little scary there, but the intervention comes out, but it's not needed. Insane angle off of that pop-up, and just flies in once again, bottom corner.
Kazan and Estelle is a deceptively good KO duo because both of them can sort of pile on damage if they need to. Their cooldowns are relatively short, that being Estelle primary and just all of Kazan's kit.
No! Alright, so Orb Replicator falls to Dubu, which this is the only, like, honestly, after a set like that, where even it's just straight up, like, Dubu playing really, really well, and doing a lot of just general outplays and just, like, slightly better positioning and edging out and strike wars and all of that. This is the game changer that can cause your team to lose even when you feel like you're in such a dominating position, is this combination of Orb Dancer or Orb Replicator. Every time Jiggly Supreme gets an Orb, their whole team is going to be flying. They're going to need to really either KO Jiggly Supreme, which is very possible with this Kazan pick, or do what they're doing right now and break both barriers instantly and score before the other team even has a chance to get any orbs and do anything. But that's the thing to look out for. Watch for the speed, watch for the orb takes, because if Jiggly Supreme can use this Orb Dancer aggressively, then you grab one orb behind, you can run up to the midfield, grab another orb, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. But we'll see what happens. Ooh.
Seems like they're definitely getting some value now because they've taken out both barriers and they're not as liable of KOs. Right as I say something, though, Carmine finding another KO onto Turbo 24. Really just unfortunate, standing too close to the edge, but a little passing play from Everybody Loves Dubu. Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah, now Turbo moving up. But it's going to be an insanely fast pass to Carmine. He's able to find that one in time and get the next goal. Just Sony salute. The core has just moved so fast in overtime and it's so hard to predict. The spark of strength on Carmine probably actually like helping a little bit of that speed. It's just these small awakening things that you really, honestly, you just can't adjust to. You can't just know exactly the speed is unless you play them like, you really have to have a really strong understanding of power and how it works, and it's so complicated, and it being ready for those kinds of things is crazy. But the flip comes out in order to save that one, to save death, really. It's like almost finding another dash punch, but it's going to be KO'd instead by the umbrella, and now it's a power play situation. Run around, uses the flip, tries to do a passing play of cross, or maybe he's aiming for the bottom corner. Either way, barrier's not taken. The Dubu's able to hold. Good strike work from Turbo. Is going to keep it out. A little bit of a loop-de-loop from Turbo, actually, just runs in a circle, but the core lands in a really good spot for them, but C-Cross is able to find the clear. Extra special coming in big here, blocking that, using that Tofu Fortress to block off any attempted thwarts of this barrier's existence. But the flip into flip action is going to be, once again, really good for the side of Everybody Loves Dubu. And it's Sly once again staggered, so this is really scary for Asher. There's just two characters that have multiple ways of KOing you. J-Cross does the same combo as before to get the KO, and the power play instantly results in a barrier. Now Carmine looking for a shot at goal, looking for a passing play, but doesn't matter. Just once again, overtime hits and the single strike with Spark of Strength, giving just 26 power, is able to hit that one in the bottom corner once again.
Between Spark of Strength, Kazan, and 1-2 Punch Asher in overtime, the core is going to be moving faster than I think I've ever seen it move. The only time I've ever seen it move faster is when Hotshot 1-2 Punch Juno.
Yeah, and well, like I know this is a little off topic, but that is not chill. That stuff is not chill. God, Juno, not a fan.
Juno in general.
Yeah, honestly, just Juno. Just Juno, period. Oh, flip used really early, though. Being, honestly, in a little bit of a nervous predicament right now. They used two flips to really defend, to not even defend one barrier. But there we go. Flip blocked. It's sliding. A good job of containing. It's getting these opportunities now and is using them. But the next barrier ends up being taken. This hard 1v1 that Dubu just not feeling fast enough to make anything work. But the orbs have stacked. Everyone is speeding up a lot right now. Everything used on that flip. They are not going to let that one be the last one. And neither are they going to let this one be the last one. The flip comes out. The goal's open, but just a slight miss on the angle is going to cause another shot at Glory. But instead, it's going to be one getting KO'd. But it flies right past Shields Supreme to the same spot. It's gotten over and over again, and that's going to be Everybody Loves Dubu with another really, really good showing. I know last game was a lot closer, but the beginning of that one was pretty much just as dominant, and we're seeing once again, hey, they qualified. Everybody Loves Dubu. We'll see them again in a few weeks.
Qualifying for Osas finale. Congrats to Everybody Loves Dubu. Unfortunately, It seemed like that game everybody hated Dubu. Getting a core around him, hitting it to where he couldn't reach it. Oh my goodness. Just felt like every time that Carmine had the core, he just found the perfect angle to hit it around Jiggle Supreme. It was utterly dominant performance from Everybody Loves Dubu. And it's just sad to see that the Platinum Horde couldn't win this one.
Yeah, the Platinum Horde, a team I'm hyped for. Again, I saw them yesterday in Westy Wednesday, so I know that they're a team. They're playing together. They're trying to make things work. They're learning. They're playing in more tournaments. That's how you get better. But honestly, a team like Everybody Loves Dubu, who I've seen maybe a little bit more often, I feel like I've just seen them around before. Kind of showing off their experience, maybe playing a little bit with a more steady head. And are just generally just prepared and know what passing plays they want to make, and did a really good job this game and took it home.
Very, very well done from both teams. And it just seems that Everybody Loves Dubu just had the edge. We'll have to see if the Platinum Horde can really start coming into their own with more tournaments, more play, just more experience. That's all it takes. But that's what Osas is for.
Yeah, and it's not even over for them yet. They're immediately getting thrown into another qualifier match in a bit. There's some time to go. They'll either be playing a team like Seraphim Oxblood or probably like Collins Comets, maybe Chikara Ichizu. And they'll have another chance at qualifying. We should see them later tonight. But next up is going to be Nameless versus Animal Style Munchie Meal. And I am going to be an extremely biased caster going into this next game. I am a big fan of Animal Style Munchie Meal. I may or may not technically be the coach of this team. and yeah, it might be this team. I'm really having high hopes for this team.
Osas bias. Oh my goodness. In my Osas qualifiers? No way.
No way. It might be more likely than you think. It just might. But they've been waiting. I think they've been waiting on us for a bit. So hopefully, we're getting the players in. I don't know. Maybe we're going to Oni Village. I think we're going to Oni Village. And I'm not going to spoil all the strats, but this is a little bit of an Animal Style Munchie Meal preferred. Definitely one of the preferred maps for the team. So we might be able to witness some of the plays they've been working on. They've been practicing some certain things on this map that I'm hoping they're going to be able to show off. I know they were able to show it off earlier on Oni Village even when they played. I think they played like Sleepyheads earlier today on stream. Maybe. So if they can bring it back against Nameless, who are I believe the first seed. Yep, they are the first seed in this tournament. So if they can take out Nameless, they already make a name for themselves in the first OSAS tournament that Animal Style has entered. Munchie Meal, to be clear. There's another Animal Style out there. So you got to be clear and make sure that everyone knows it's Animal Style Munchie Meal and say the full name every time, obviously. It's a big wave if they just take out the number 1 seeded team and just win the first OSAS, basically, that they've ever entered. And then they'll be going straight to the OSAS finale. Won't have to worry about entering another qualifier. But on the same end, Nameless, they're seeded number 1 for a reason. So we're going to have to see who can come out on top in this battle.
What a claim to fame. Joining your first OSAS tournament and making it all the way to qualifiers on your first tournament. Truly, truly some spectacular work from Animal Style Munchie Meal. And what a name, too. What a name. Animal Style Munchie Meal.
It's a dang good name. It used to be just Animal Style. I know they have a logo too it's like an In-N-Out hat. Sony wearing It's Sony wearing an In-N-Out hat. And then the Munchie Meal. I think I came up with this. I swear I came up with the Munchie Meal part. I was like, well, this isn't technically Animal Style, so you got to add like Munchie Meal to the end to show that it's a different team technically. But
An In-N-Out hat on Sony just sounds hilarious for a logo. Oh my gosh. You know, I've never actually been to an In-N-Out before. Now that I think about it, I have never been to an In-N-Out or a Whataburger.
Gotta come to the West. Well, are you in the West? I don't even know.
No, I'm not even in the West.
You gotta get to the West. Munchie Meal. Getting some questions about the team. I know it's like server selection's really weird in this game because right now there's a pick between 2 central servers that if you live in like Florida, then Denver really sucks, and if you live in like certain if you live northwest and like Washington, then or especially Oregon is also I heard Oregon's actually worse than Washington sometimes depending on your ISP. Then Dallas can really suck. So Denver goes pretty dang hard. Personally, as a Westie, I prefer Denver because it's just a little bit closer and my ping's just slightly better. But it's usually, and hey, I'm super thankful for Odyssey. Heard our pleas. We've been asking for central servers for so long. Eventually giving them to us and keeping them up for as far as we know, despite recent news. But I'm excited for the next content update. I'm excited for this micro patch, honestly, and seeing what the changes will bring. But yeah, Oni Village. All our teams are locked in, and we're gonna be queuing up right now.
Ooh. I am excited for the content update. I'm excited for the micro patch, but most of all, I am excited for this upcoming match. More than anything, Oni Village is a very difficult map to play not only scorer on, but to play midfield on, because there's so much open space that longer range midfielders tend to usually do better. Stuff like your Estelle, like your Rasmus, like generally longer range midfielders tend to excel more on Oni Village, and it can be harder to attack, especially with the goalie camping on one particular barrier. But here we are, we're diving into the match right now.
Yeah, it's good to not always put so much into the hovers, but we're seeing the Asher get banned. It'd be interesting to see this Rasmus goalie pop out. I think it's a bit of a controversial goalie pick on this map, where some people actually like it like a fair amount, but some people are just Rasmus goalie players in general and like playing it on all maps. But it's just not as good as holding it down as some other characters are, but pretty good at keeping the core out and 1v1ing other brawlers, especially once you have that pauldrons for that extra size, which is so powerful in Rasmus. It's always it's pretty much the best awakening to take, like 9 out of 10 times in a draft. It's just the size one, and you can just start larger as this character on this map. So yeah, we're seeing that come out. We're seeing the Rasmus, we're seeing the Estelle, and Malone, collegiate extraordinaire, top 8 finisher, WF Wake Forest University, popping out on the Atlas, which is another very comfortable pick. But wow, Sustain immediately pops in, gets both barriers, gives them no time to rest, no time to warm up. They're in a game right now. They gotta get ready.
Wake up! It is time to play, and that's what Sustain is here to do. Taking both barriers right off the bat, and also just generally having more midfield presence, I think. But Doxy and Mob, too, both respond with their own barrier, and a great passing play will sink it into the goal. First goal going to the side of Animal Style Munchie Man.
Yeah, saying thanks for the wake-up call. We needed that, actually, and just immediately take over. Ma2 running the Magnetized Souls along with Skyaxe. I am not a fan of this. Coach does not approve, but I'll give him a stern talking to later. The Magnetized Souls did just receive a buff, and on this map, this is probably the best map to take Magnetized Souls on of the maps due to how large it is. Yeah, that's not going to be saved. Both forwards collapsing on the goalie after taking the barriers, doing a really good job there. But Magnetized Souls, it was just buffed. I don't think the text displays it in-game, but I believe it now gives you 25% speed for 1.5 seconds when you cross over the midfield line, which is a little bit longer than before. But immediately, Skyaxe just running forward, getting the barrier, and once again, just Malone not ready in time, not expecting the Drakkar to sprint forward and get that second barrier. This is just an interesting comp, too. It's Aimee plus Drakkar. There's no real brawler here. Like, Aimee, they both have scoring potential. Aimee and Drakkar, like, you have Strike Shotgun for getting scores like that, as we just saw. And we have, on the other hand, Aimee, who just has, like, any ability can score, really, but also has...
Aimee.
Yeah, Aimee is a little bit of a different beast, but... On the other hand, Ma2 is going to be a bit more of the traditional brawler like role, not really a double midfield comp. We see Doxy stalling a little bit, waiting for an opportunity, baiting in the forwards, try to get a shot at passing to Ma2 and really get Ma2 these 1v1s that they really want, and also start setting up for these 2v1s if they can on the goalie. The dribble has come once again. We're going to hit it to the corner to keep that offense going. It's good to just keep possession. Honestly, dribbling is just always good because you're going to be getting that energy for your flip, which is going to help you score more goals, and that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to score more goals. Malone in a tough situation here, but it's going to find the angle to get it out. Matu getting the 1v1 again. It's a bit of a hard mirror to go Rasmus versus Rasmus, because on some hands, it's not too bad, because as Rasmus, it's a bit annoying. Usually when you're Rasmus goalie, you're pretty good dealing with traditional brawlers that aren't Rasmus. Ooh, good shot there, though. It's going to take the first set in the match. Rasmus versus Rasmus is usually pretty, just okay, because Rasmus doesn't really need the same, setups that the other brawlers do, that Rasmus goalie is good at getting out, but it's just Rasmus, except larger. So that's annoying to play against. It's hard to explain. But there's 2 orbs on the board, so I'm going to be interested to see if they take these. We see the aerials come out immediately, which is also a bit of a deny. and one punch taken directly after, which was gonna let's get this core moving a little bit faster.
Nameless, not really opting for, actually Size Awakening got taken, so he's opting for the Super Surge, and it seems like Malone opts for Orb Replicator, and Valeris going for the Orb Ponderer. So if either one of them finds Orb Dancer, it could be a dramatically different match we're potentially looking at here.
Yeah, I think especially if you've lost the first set, you probably take the Orb Ponderer there because you just need more, like, you need something now to help you out, and you always want those cooldowns down longer. And there's a world where that Orb Dancer just never pops up again anyway, so you're just guaranteeing more value by taking this Orb Ponderer. Just a little bit better, especially to take as a first one. But if Malone does get this Orb Dancer later in the game, it is, like, once again, like last game, it's going to be it should be a big tipping point in the match. Make the game much, much harder for the side of Nameless. But Animal Style, this time, holding the barriers a lot longer than the last ones, which is good. They're making the right adaptations. Looks like Doxy's moving a little bit farther back to help out. Going to stay in this corner until they find a way out. Sustain has this flip, but is going to need to find the right time to use it. But the passes are going through the midfield and find the barrier. Really great play there. Really fast-paced, too. Tries to use flip to clear it out to give Ma2 a chance at a 1v1, but not quite finding it. The flip finally used by Sustain. It felt like it was from far away, but actually was able to find a really nice angle onto Malone, who's in a really awkward situation now. Is probably looking to use his flip soon, but he's not going to need it. The core just goes right through the pendulum swing from Valerius, and Ma2 is able to get this goal this time.
Let's see if this is the start of the comeback for Animal Style Munchie Meal. We'll have to see how these new awakenings will change up their gameplay, because I definitely think... Ooh!
Okay. Okay, get doxed, by the way. That's what we call it. That's called getting doxed.
Get doxed.
Get absolutely doxed. Okay, the flip, a little aggressive mod too, but I appreciate the idea. Flip might need to be used here. It's not actually. Malone just reads it, but that's going to be a KO on mod 2 in return, though. The pressure from the core allowing for the KOs to be found. Getting a return KO. Not able to get both barriers off of that power play found from just one Estelle primary. The flip's going to have to be used here. Hits it in a good direction. Skyaxe, especially if this size, is going to be hard to hit through, even with something like Flip, where it moves the core really fast. So, finding the right thing here. Oh, here we go. Doxy dashing in, finds a good Rose Warp in order to help defend that one, because otherwise that was just going in for sure. Great Flip pass. Sees the opening that Ma2 is able to recognize as well. They see the vision, and that's the Crystal Thorns to finish it off. And that's a 2-0, looking a lot better this set.
Definitely, definitely. They're coming into their own a little more. It seems like the Awakenings are helping a lot more, especially the 1-2 punch on Doxy. Really able to find those KOs that they weren't able to before. Getting doxed, as it were.
Yeah, gonna be, and hopefully the doxing doesn't stop there. But what's going to be interesting to look at is how Doxy is able to use the 1-2 punch while dribbling. Doxy has been dribbling quite a bit this game. But when you have 1-2 punch, how you dribble changes, because every time you hit the core, it's going to be moving a bit just slightly faster, which is both a boon, but can also be a curse sometimes when you are trying to dribble and keep possession, and then the core just moves too fast for you to keep it anymore, and you're forced to hit it somewhere else. But oftentimes, you just hit the core really hard, and they're not expecting it, and you get a goal barrier for free or something like that. But great combo there. Ma2 and Doxy sync up and find the stun onto Valerius to get the barrier, and then immediately after, the hook is able to get the goal. So Ma2 and Doxy, right forward synergy there, able to get a 3-0 set after losing that first one. And let's see what they're rewarded with.
Ooh. Stacks on stacks, quick strikes, fight or flight. There's a lot of good awakenings here. Even Primetime might be a good option if Doxy opts for it, but they opt for the quick strikes. Last game, whenever, who was it? I believe it was C-Cross had quick strikes. It seemed like the 5% cooldown nerf didn't really come into play as much as we thought. So we'll have to see how it synergizes with forwards a little better and see if their scoring potential maybe goes down just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I really like... Honestly, the best 3 awakenings in that draft, in my opinion, are just, especially on this map, are Stacks, Fight or Flight, and Quick Strike. and Animal Style got all 3 of them. So I think they're going to be looking really powerful into this next set. Valerius has the Prime Time, which should help defensively a little bit. The I-Me Timeless is just obviously it's Timeless on I-Me is so annoying to play against. But on this map, honestly, it's not nearly as strong in my opinion as on some other maps, because the turret has a little trouble taking up that space that needs to. But hey, it did right there. Timeless coming in pretty large there, pretty huge. Oh, Sustain though, back using the flip defensively to help out. Both goal barriers open now. Doxy trying to find a dribble, but is going to have a little bit of trouble. Skyax there, but has found an opportunity to move up. Malone is charging forward, has the stacks on stacks now to help play a little bit more offensively. Oh, and their flip comes through and finds the angle. Get doxed.
Get doxed. As it seems, that extra energy from quick strikes, even if it is just 1 additional energy, really builds up the more you think about it. And with 1-2 punch, the core flips hit incredibly hard. So you either have to be in a great position to catch them already, or just you aren't catching them in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Quick Strike's 1-2 punch is just a secret kind of nutty combo. It goes... You have to know how to use it, but if you know how to use it, it's just so good. And as Doxy was able to use it there to get the core pass and like dime up Mod 2, and now it's going to be able to use the quick strikes, hopefully to defend this barrier, but isn't. Instead, it's going to be an open goal barrier for both sides once again. Malone has this flip ready. Doxy dribbling in front of the goalie, doing a little bit of cooking in front of the goal net, which I love.
Whoa.
And then we see the blink, the rose warp finds the perfect angle, barely sliding into the top corner. Great shot from Doxy. Level 8 right now, by the way. Quick strikes moment.
Level 8, by that way. Level 8, by the way. Quick strikes and 1-2 punch, and all around just playing out of their mind right now. Doxy really taking the majority of these interactions and just winning them through sheer brute force. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Oh! Doxy saying, I'm not done scoring goals. I'm scoring another one. For the fans. And that's going to be another goal for Doxy and Animal Style in my heart. But
wait, why aren't we on to the next set already? What happened?
Yeah, wait, what happened? Oh, but double barrier found. They're saying, like, yeah, we gave you one for fun. Now we're going to take both barriers and score real quick, is what they might not be saying. Greatly timed lock and load from Skyax is going to find that one. And the flip is online. It's going to need to use it, but wow, it hits it at the perfect timing to get it past that expanse. And it's going to be found another goal. Might be feeling a little nervous right now, but they do. Animal Style has the energy advantage. Doxy has flip right now. Hopefully doesn't use it too early. Hopefully we'll try to find an opportunity to get the second barrier. Using flip on the first barrier is a common mistake that a lot of players make. They use it too early on a barrier that probably would have been too easy to get. Like, losing that barrier there is honestly not that big of a deal, because you're just going to lose that first barrier for free anyway at some point. The strike shotgun, though, has been really scary this game. It's been forcing cooldowns to be used from Malone, which is usually something you'd usually want to hope they use it for something a bit stronger. But Mod 2 gets cleared into and uses that fact immediately, gets that goal barrier, and uses the Rose Warp to win the strike war, but Skyax and Sustain regain possession. The Glitch Pop's not able to get it, though, and neither is the Pendulum Swing. It just flies in, and that's another set for Animal Style.
That was a very, very important set for Animal Style, and they showed just how dominant they were looking, or just how much they wanted to change it around. So let's see how this new performance gets highlighted with some of these new awakenings. Looks like we have Hot Shot, Twin Drive.
Orb Dancer is what I'm looking at right now.
Ooh,
Hot Shot
right.
taken by the Estelle, which is a big take, and not denying the Orb Dancer could prove fatal, especially when they're set up. So even if Animal Style loses this set, this Orb Dancer is going to be revving up, and with the combination of the Orb Replicator, Orb Dancer that Malone has, that's just going to be, over time, this team's just going to get faster and faster and faster. And this is a team that already has Slick Kicks, Quick Strikes, Fighter Flight, and Stacks. So I hope that Nameless are ready for the amount of speed that's going to about to come their way.
Monopolizing the speed market, it looks like. The Animal Style really doing, I think, a better job of drafting than Nameless is right now. And honestly, they're just looking so dominant with their performance.
Yeah, and hey, Malone saying this is why I took Orb Replicator and not Orb Ponder, because I knew I would get that Orb Dancer and make it worth it. But the read from Ma2, Valerius clears into the Pendulum Swing. Ma2 sees it coming again, and then hits that one in. So insane play there. Valerius put in a tough spot. Barrier lost early, gets a little nervous, and Ma2 able to capitalize, and a KO instantly found. Just a random Pendulum Swing is able to find it, but this Timeless Creator turret is going to do a good job. But we see the passes to Malone, the back passes, also known as other names, are being
Goalie
found. Goalie check, yeah, is one, and we're not, and there may be another, and if you know, you know, but Malone prepared for these, and they're playing together as a team, trying to form the triangle, trying to make it work. But, almost find the barrier, but the strong hit just misses the core, causing Valerius to have a chance to get it. Flip on flip action is able to kind of just keep it in the middle. Really nothing happens, just negate each other completely. And then not able to win the strike war, and then SkyAxe is able to get the strike shotgun once again. Malone has flip, can opt not to use it here. They have a big energy advantage, so honestly, should only use it if they need to, if they feel like. But flip used a little bit early here. Ma2 does force out another flip though, so down to take that trade most of the time. It goes through. It's a bit of a Garfield moment, but honestly, with one barrier down on this map, it's pretty dang rough. And honestly, I don't mind if it was on purpose to save that flip, to save a single barrier in the future, than using it now to save the goal, especially when you're a character like Atlas, who's not nearly as good on the open goal, and is probably going to get put in a similar situation pretty soon.
Bit of a questionable Imi turret there from Sustain, firing it back towards their own side. Let's see, and their coordination from Animal Style Munchie Meal really just... I can't take that name seriously.
Animal Style Munchie Meal. The next NASL greats, possibly asterisk real. Real in parentheses. They're munching it up right now. There might not be Bozo Bunch Muncher, but they're munchers in their own right. Moving the core up right now. Doxy has flip. Ma2 is gonna win the strike war against the larger Rasmus, which is rather impressive. And Doxy is gonna get doxed. Oh my! Max range Estelle Beam. The piercing shot gonna break through, even with the secondary. Valerius is not ready or expecting it, and it comes through. Another combo I didn't mention earlier is Primetime Ponder on Valerius, though, which is pretty crazy. It's gonna have the primary up a lot, but the primary has not been enough so far to prevent these barriers from being taken. So it's gonna need to find some adaptation to get those through. Doxy, you've seen Flip to save this one barrier. Not a big fan of, because that barrier is just gonna get lost anyway, but now, a little bit of an energy disadvantage, although Ma2 has the flip as well. Also going to use it, what I'd say a little bit early, using it for the single barrier. Getting a little antsy. They see the victory in front of them, and they want to reach out immediately. But instead, SkyAxe is going to be a bit more patient and is rewarded by getting the barrier and the goal without having to use the flip. And we see, and this is where a little bit of tournament experience, levels of tournament experience come in. I wouldn't be surprised if, I feel like I've seen Nameless before, and once again, this is the first time this team, I believe, has ever competed in a tournament as a team. So having, I can see the tournament nerves coming out here when you're up. Sometimes you feel like you just got to end it now. You can't give them another chance, but every point of Omega Strikers is the same thing, you know? You got to keep that mindset, keep moving forward, just play normally. And yeah, looking a little bit more comfortable now. The back pass is coming out. Oh, great defense from Malone, able to stop that one from being taken. And no shotguns left on SkyAxe, the strike shotgun this time. And it's going to result in a pretty precarious position for Valerius, but it's going to be able to clear it out nonetheless. Ma2 keeping possession, winning the strike wars. Doxy collapses in, but the flip comes out to save the barrier. Oh my, Malone gets it the last possible second, but it's not going to matter. The shotgun comes through and gets the stun. And flip on the edge is going to seal it up. And it's now going to a set 5. Sustain with 2 goals in a row to save their tournament, or their winners' upper bracket life at least.
Very, very important set, and everybody just all around really great performance. But as you said, it seemed like Animal Style was really just starting to have a bit of that tournament nerves, those jitters, those little mistakes that start to come out whenever you realize you're in a tournament setting. And it's pretty high stakes. You are 1 point away from qualifying for Osas finale, and that can really get to you sometimes.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And honestly, I think the nerves came out in this draft a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, on both sides. I mean, not taking the extra special, especially with the timeless, is a little bit weird, especially when you already have aerials. It's probably denying the Estelle was the idea there, but probably not worth it for how good extra special is. The dash is gonna not quite reach it, but yeah.
Maybe denying the Atlas as well. I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
Bit
you're
of an
right.
odd
It would
take.
also be able to kind of deny. But either way, it's like, it's probably not that strong. But on the other end, we see Castellas taken from Matu instead of the size. But I guess he doesn't need the size. It doesn't need built different if you can just do that to people. And just, once again, that's the second time this game, finding the KO off of just a raw pendulum swing. But so far aren't able. The core kind of slipping through. Doxy looking for a strike war here, but it's going to have the Rose Warp as a backup instead. Matu going to have to break through 3 people here, which is going to be pretty hard. And instead, it's going to be immediately converted to the other side. But hey, welcome to Oni Village, where this is going to be happening all game. The core's moving back and forth to both sides. Both forwards trying to get their duo opportunity together, but both forwards on the same time matching the forwards over and over again, so that there's always something to be found. The flip used, once again, I'd say a little bit preemptively, a little bit, again, I think a little bit nervous, just worried too much. They want to get this barrier now. They're in a little bit of a rush to get this barrier. They're not really setting up the same place they were before, but with overtime in session, there's no time to make these same plays. But Doxy has the 1-2 punch. It's going to be looking to make that happen, but Ma2 uses the flip, baits out Valerius' flip as well. Malone has flip on the defensive side, and we're going to see the defensive core flip use from Sistane. Going to be in a really tough situation here now, though, especially with that energy down, but SkyX has flip as well, or has flip coming up as well, but he's going to just win the strike core to get the goal and has core flip. Malone is down, but Doxy tries to find the angle, but isn't enough. The bounce off is enough for Malone to have time to save that one, but it's in such a rough spot. The strike war win on the edge of the goal box. Malone's able to take it, but it's getting really close to the goal barrier. A KO here could be fatal, especially with these stacks on stacks plus orb dancer build, but that's, again, something to look out for. Look out for that speed. But Ma2 looking for the strike war win. And instead, we're going to see a combo. The KO, the Orb Ponder is reset. And that's a huge point for Animal Style.
Oh, this match is already so tense. 0-1. And the first point goes to Animal Style for this 5th and final set. This is starting to get electrifying. I'm really excited to see how both teams can start performing now with the not only the awakenings, but having gauged each other out for 5 rounds now.
Yeah, once again, the Strike Shotgun just proving to be so powerful and getting these barriers and getting these goals. But once again, Malone has scaled. Look at how fast all these members of Animal Style are, and another orb is about to come online. Malone is charging up. Is this fast even without it? Now the orb is taken. Everyone's dancing, and the dance will be enough. Ma2 dances past all 3 members of Nameless and are able to get the second goal, and they're now on qualification point.
Ma2 working on their salsa, dancing through all 3 members of Nameless and finding a really good dribble, but not only that, but finding a perfect angle through all 3 members of Nameless. Really well done by Ma2.
Yeah, now Doxy has flip here. It'd be really, really good if this flip can be used to get this next barrier. It could also be used to defend this last one as well. Either way, it's probably a worthwhile use, but with the first barrier gone, moving in a little bit more aggressively to try to get close to this barrier is a pretty smart play. But Malone is going to be able to get through this IME turret, the timeless IME turret. It's really hard to deal with, but Ma2 is the one who's going to be able to get the barrier through the flip. Doxy gets a little bit anxious and ends up flipping a little bit early, but it is grabbing core control, has the quick strikes, has the 1-2 punch, is slowly building it up, making it a little bit faster. Ma2 looking for the core, has core flip. The pass goes up. Ma2 is at the goal line, but Valerius is able to flip first and take the possession of that core and take the flip off the map. Stone and SkyX are the next ones up. Malone will have a flip as well, but it's getting really close to the net, but it's going to be saved. Valerius using the opportunities to save very, very well. But now the turret is back up once again. Flip's going to be to use to counter the turret, but it's not going to be enough. But insane Rose Warp angle is almost going to get it in on its own, but both goal barriers are open. The flips are almost up for Sistane, but Ma2 is able to run back in time, interrupt the pass, shoot the core, and win the series.
incredible performance from Animal Style. They've really started to take control of their nerves in that last set. I saw it. They just like they looked completely different from how they did on that one or the 2-1 advantage with that last set. They started to get a little more patient. They started to really evaluate their plays a little more and just were able to seal it out.
Yeah.
Looking more confident than they did in that previous set.
Shout out to Animal Style. I'll claim that I coached this team, even though I've actually had one-on-one coaching sessions with Malone and Doxy. Mod 2 will be scheduled soon. But yo, I'm watching the replays, and whoever just put the own goal on there, you're on the list. I'm coming for you. But yeah, tough. Hey, really, they qualify, beat the first seed, by the way, in their first ever OSAS. This is a team to look out for, and they're going to keep practicing. They're going to keep practicing across these weeks. They're going to keep trying to enter tournaments for the finale, before the finale happens in a few weeks. But Nameless will move down to the losers side, and I believe they're going to be playing the Chads, who we also saw earlier were able to make their way up. So both the Platinum Horde and the Chads, teams we saw before, are lined up to be our next teams, along with the teams we've already saw of that's exactly what I just said, actually. But yeah, I'm excited for this next matches as well. Good job, Animal Style. I've been telling them over and over again, like, if you guys just enter OSAS with even they were so worried. They were saying stuff like, "Oh, we're not practiced enough as a team. We haven't played together enough as a team yet. We need more practice." I'm saying, just enter. You gap all these you gap these guys. You guys are
Did
crazy.
a little bit of chatting. I see. All right.
Yeah, good job to them. I mean, they're all Malone and Water Fury is also sub for that team, are two like of the collegiate goalies that mainly play just for collegiate, but have been like after CCL happened, they've had both have this like fire burned in them where they really want to win because they had some tough games in those tournaments, and they just really want to improve and like be able to bring their team up for the next CCL season and other collegiate tournaments in general, which is really cool to see. I'm really excited for how they will develop as players. But OSAS, that's the place to develop. So Malone showing up and playing and winning in OSAS, that's gotta feel good. Especially, you probably haven't won that many tournaments in your lifetime, and this is your first one right here. Even though technically you only finish top 4, it feels like a win when you qualify for something, and that's nice. So I know that they're really looking to shoot for first in the finale. There's some other great teams that have qualified so far, so that I'm really looking forward to seeing too. I know Magical Meeps is a team I've had my eye on for a while. Lang looks like a really strong player that could potentially make some big waves in the scene. I think even post OSAS, if that guy keeps it up and keeps improving at the rate that they are. And Winton from Overwatt has been around for quite a while. Another team that will be in that finale, and among them will be Animal Style Munchie Meal as that first place team.
Sometimes all you need is that fire in your heart and the desire to improve, and with that, like, you can go anywhere with Omega Strikers. As long as you have the desire to improve and the desire to get better, and you sign up for tournaments like OSAS, you really you can go as far as you want. And I'm always a sucker for the underdog. I always am. I love seeing people rise from nothing and become the best. And really proud of Animal Style Munchie Meal, but we'll have to see if they can perform in the OSAS finale. But getting away from that, the losers quarterfinal.
Yeah,
Nameless?
not sure which one we'll see first. I think Nameless in the chat. Oh, but it is Nameless versus the Chads. I just went back into my lobby and saw Nameless versus the Chads. It's currently still on Oni Village, but it could be a different map. I could be definitely mistaken, but the Chads are an interesting team. Having to play Nameless is honestly pretty rough. They had to play Everybody Loves Dubu, and now they have to play Nameless, who were the first seed of the tournament. So they've had a little bit of a rough seeding, having to play one of the qualified teams and then immediately playing the first seed team afterwards, when the Chads are a really solid squad. They were in Osas last season. I remember seeing them around a few times. Chad Dudesky, great name, definitely, and it lives up to it very often in these games. Is a very strong player. So seeing the Chads come out here, it's definitely an upsettable game. Nameless coming in as the favorites, had a really close match last game. Probably, I don't know what their comps are usually like, though. Their comp last game was pretty double midfieldy, which can be a little bit rough sometimes if you have two midfielders, and you, especially depending on like the meta and what the Starting Awakenings are and what map you're playing on, it can get pretty rough. Like Night Market, for example, is kind of more of the brawler maps, and if you don't have someone who can pick those brawlers, then you have a little bit more trouble.
For sure, for sure. Especially, like, I've noticed that on smaller range maps, like Night Market, like your Oni villages, like, if you go double midfield on those maps, 9 times out of 10, you're going to experience issues with just not being able to get the core up, and not being able, well, you can get the core up, but it's just not being able to actually score once it's in your possession, because you just don't have the tools that you would otherwise have if you had like a traditional brawler, a scorer of some kind, say like Juliet, like Zentaro, like X. It's really tricky, but I can't say I'm too familiar with the comps of either team here, but I'm very excited to see potentially what they could run in this losers quarters.
Yeah, we're heading to Atlas's lab, Fudgy's lab, as many people call it. Thousands.
Is that what
billions.
it's called?
Yeah, no, nothing else. They don't call it anything else, too. There's no other names, no other players associate themselves with this map.
Fudgy's lab, I see.
Fudgy's lab. But I love this map so much, mainly because it's Luna's best map by a lot. Luna's really strong on this map. But we see the Julie band come out and the Imi band come out in return. We saw Sustain pilot that last game, so not too surprised to see that. And interested to see what they pick in response.
We'll have to see, because with Atlas's lab, for me, it's always about getting it into that corner pocket. Getting it behind the locks is almost a guaranteed barrier in every single situation, unless you or your goalie know how to hit the forward angle. The forward angle, as I call it, is that angle that hits back around the behind or the backside of the lock, and it is almost always hit by forwards. I've never hit it whenever I'm playing goalie. It is
I don't think
always.
I've ever seen. I've been in like I try to hit it intentionally, and it's just so hard to hit it intentionally. It just only happens when you don't want it to happen when you're trying to score. But yeah, we see the Finny come out, who's just been changed. I wouldn't call it. I don't know if I'd call it a buff or a nerf. A bit of an adjustment, a little bit of a blurf. It's gonna be able to have the secondary up a little bit more often, but doing a little bit less damage. But this comp doesn't really look to be doing that much damage, which is a bit of a question mark. Is what I would say. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was not familiar with the game of Nameless, despite having just watched one from them. Really playing this Atlas, or not this Atlas, but this Drakkar Brawler, pretty much, which isn't the first time I've seen that. I know, like, Spooked Altar is probably notorious for being the Atlas forward player who picks Atlas as a brawler rather than or scorer type than a like midfield type like most people would. But SkyX kind of doing the same thing here, and gets a scores with it. Chad Dudesky not ready for it, just the slightest of mix-ups. SkyX able to get the point again, showing off that Drakkar.
Drakkar can score, just like the rest of them. In fact, Drakkar forward is actually one of my favorite picks to go whenever I don't know what else to play. It's just so much fun. Just walk up, strike shotgun, take the barrier, rinse, repeat. It is chef's kiss.
Yeah, something else I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to talk about it for quite a bit, is Sustain has taken Vicious Vambrace on the Finny, and I used to be addicted to Vambrace. I used to think, even before they buffed it for like the 5th time, I was thinking, dang, this Awakening's so good I like never get KO'd. But Eventually, I kind of learned. I still think it's underrated, to be clear. I don't actually think it's that bad, especially against Vice, Kai, and X is going to be really annoying, especially the X of perfect form, which everyone has, by the way. Everyone has perfect form this game, so everyone's going to have cooldowns the entire game. This Awakening is so broken. It's so good on every character. So, cooldowns galore, which is really good for the damage side. But Finny's secondary really good at proccing it. But anyway, back to Vambrace. Vambrace is going to be healing a lot. Every time you strike the core even, you're going to be healing a good portion. Look at how much Sustain just healed. A lot of that was the Atlas ult too. But just anytime Sustain does anything, it's going to be a little bit of healing. It's going to be kind of hard to compete with, especially with the Atlas. But on the other hand, Sustain is not going to have any core control presence or strike reward presence or scoring presence. But hey, once you hit angles like that, you don't need it. As we see Valerius getting the second goal of the game.
What's interesting to me as well is that the X on the other side took Slick Kicks instead of Vambrace, which is usually not a pick that I associate with X. I mean, it just seems to me like he's gonna have trouble sustaining against Finny Drakkar, as funny as that sounds. But the damage amp from Finny is just, I don't know, interesting pick.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I hate the comp. I hate this nameless comp. I don't understand how it's functioning and how it's continuing to function. But Slick Kicks on X, it's an interesting one because it's a little bit more popular than you'd expect. Brawlers like having Slick Kicks a lot because it just gives them so many more scoring options. But Finny has a scoring option of using the ult, and the ult plunders, the SkyX is able to get that shot into the bottom of the flip immediately afterwards. And hey, quick 3-0. I was dissing the comp, but they proved me wrong instantly, showing how this comp works, finding KOs and able to get the first barrier. And now Valerius finding themselves in the MVP position. It's actually it's orb rep. It's orb rep here.
Orb rep. All the way.
But Quick Strike's taken instead, which is valid. It is still not bad at all. Specialized training is taken by the Vice. It sucks that your X can't get that, but even if you don't take it, it's going to reach all the way to X anyway. So you could take a prize fighter or something, but then X can't get anything. So you're pretty satisfied with getting this a little bit more damage scaling. You want to be this more damage dealing team. But it's already coming in pretty hard here with, look at this, Finny having to take a lot of damage, forcing the Celestial Intervention to come out. But yep, man, that's the finish. Extra specialized training, and with the perfect form too, is going to be getting those ults that much more often. Not so recently, but Vice ult has been buffed a fair amount of times to give it a little bit less cooldown. So that's going to come in pretty hard. Vice also buffed this micro patch, has the secondary up more. So you're ready to see that. Peter M getting the KO already. The damage is scaling really hard, it feels right now, for this team. The Chads are finding a lot of KOs, and Zenith has the core control and the scoring to get those power plays into goals. And that's a 0 turn to a 1.
That's what we like to see. We like to see the comeback, especially with Peter M opting for a little more of those damage awakenings. Has a prize fighter stack. On top of perfect form, they're gonna have their cooldowns up always, and they're gonna be hitting really hard, as we see with SkyX right now, who's a little staggered.
Yeah, this nameless team is super reliant on Sustain hitting someone. Oh my, X lore. Peter M gets the KO, but Sustain's able to get both barriers and gets the goal as well. Chad Dusky a little bit too impatient. It's just so hard to expect the Finny secondary to come out from that range. You feel like you're safe, but you're never safe. And that's going to be a goal, a reverse power play, no goalie needed. Gets the goal. And I wanted... there's comp, Sustain pretty much needs to smoke someone, and then SkyX either needs to have double shotgun, or Sustain needs to land the primary. But Sustain lands everything there. Ridiculous play there. Gets the KO on X, felt practically solo. That was insane. I can't believe my eyes right now. This Finny is popping off.
Sustain is in the library because they are reading. They're figuring out where everybody's gonna go. They're putting those cooldowns where they need to be, and really just securing the KOs on An unexpected pick. I definitely didn't think the Finny would pop off this much, but I've played the Funny Rabbit character once or twice, and she can really surprise you.
Yeah, and they also, a lot of Stagger Awakenings are out of the game right now. So you used to be able to just very consistently build up Stagger to kind of work against damage, and like getting Stagger would just make you so powerful in these damage versus damage matchups because you just become invincible. But with those out of the game and Tempo Swing out of the game as well, it's going to be even harder to build against this Finny. Finny just gets a little bit stronger because of that, but Skyaxe is able to run in, I believe Xenocloaked, so wasn't able to see. Chad Dusky probably not ready for the shotgun, and gets the goal. Just really playing this Drakkar very well as a scorer.
This whole team from Nameless is just very unorthodox, but it seems to be in their favor because they're just dominating these points, stealing barriers like they're nothing, and then just whenever somebody tries to respond with damage, they just respond with damage in kind, like they're doing to Peter M right now. He's just getting bullied on the X. Oh, disgusting plays.
Yeah, Atlas even getting a piece of that one, saying like, yeah, let's beat this guy up. Peter M taking a lot of damage, but Zenith is able to take control. This is really what needs to happen to win these points. It feels like Zenith needs to run in there and get the barriers and be able to help the forward pressure, but is taking a lot of damage in return for it. Peter M also just taken out of the play pretty much. Doesn't have that healing, like you said, from the Vambrace. Is not going to be able to find that healing later either with the absence of Tempo Swing, but the goal is found nonetheless. Almost gets KO'd and gets the and one, but instead is able to survive. This peak performance, usually, I think it used to be seen as a pretty like weak awakening, pretty like the weakest of the staggered awakenings. But with reverb and bulk up out of the picture, now it's like one of the only ones. You have that, and either like Big Fish only gives you 200. There's Spark of Resilience is actually probably one of the like even stronger now. With the absence of these other stagger awakenings, you just peak and resilience becoming that much stronger. That being shown there, but instead the KO into an immediate goal found after. This forward duo cannot be stopped.
Finny Drakkar, definitely not a comp you would expect, but Sustain and Skyaxe really just putting it to work, putting it through its runs, and just letting it known that they were the first seed for a reason, and they are just dominating the field as it looks like. Not able to keep up with the damage, it seems, the Chads.
Yeah, this draft is also pretty dang rough for the Chads. They're really hoping that X could probably get something pretty good. Get Spark of Resilience, but there's 3 Sparks on board. So getting pretty owned there. Doesn't really have a great option to pick from. Finny taking the extra special to deny Vice, because Vice has the specialized training. With that extra special and the perfect form, it would become a little bit too ridiculous. Could possibly take over the game, but not an option. Instead, is forced to take the aerials, which is significantly weaker. And is going to immediately lose the Gold Bear with no real great increase in strength. Honestly, the draft heavily won this round by Nameless. It's going to be really, really difficult for the Chads to pull one back here.
It is an uphill battle from here on out. Let's see if the Chads can... Ooh, a bit of a rough secondary for Chad Dudesky, kind of stealing possession away from his forward, but let's see if they can maybe make something work here. But the damage is just so much.
Yeah, it's just so much damage. One barrier taken, but the KOs are about to come through. Atlas, Iron Spear coming in, is going to get 1 KO. Peter M looking next on the chopping block, but is going to do their best to stay alive. Is starting to heal this stagger up bit by bit. Has that Spark of Resilience now, like I was talking about before. Has something, but yeah. Okay, Sustain, a little bit of BM afterwards too. Just raw flip KO. Ridiculous stuff. Chad Dudesky has the ult. There's a lot of damage with it, but they're not really having so much hard time by converting these KOs afterwards. This is very slippery. Drakkar, who now has Castellast as well, is able to just kind of run away and slow down the opponents. Now might get staggered for the first time in a while. Both goal barriers open. Peter M is going to try and play farther back and play more midfield. Zenith has been having a little bit more success farther forward, so it seems like that's the adjustment they're trying to make. But X so far is not at the same tools that navigate this midfield. It's moving back up. Zenith trying to move together, trying to get a little bit of Oki action on, but the X is not scaled. Does not have the damage that you want to perform in the forward roll, but able to find a great angle to Peter M, who's able to keep that angle forward and get a goal. So it's not over yet for the Chads, despite this level discrepancy. Holy.
Definitely not over just yet. It seems like the Chads are starting to maybe pull things back a little bit, but right as I say that, they get both barriers taken. Oh, how unfortunate.
Yeah, and Sustain has the Egoist and the core flip. Hits an insane dimer. Skyaxe keeps the speed. They hit it to the bottom corner, and that is a 15-second goal.
15-second goal in losers' quarters of Osas. You hate to see it.
Hey, I mean, it happens at all levels of play. It happens to everyone. It's just these fast, sometimes, especially on this map, and these massive double barriers where there's opportunities to get the double barrier instantly. If they can find those angles and get the 2 barriers, it becomes really, really hard to play the rest of the round. Honestly, yeah, this 1 barrier taken, flip used in defense, but it's just going to be at least 1 taken for sure. And the other one could come out soon, but Peter M has flipped now, but this gets right past multiple times. Okay, able to use it finally to get that last barrier. Both goal gates are open. This Sustain once again has flip already. Egoist shining so brightly, and that's going to be a quick 3-0 for Nameless. The Chads are taken out.
It definitely seemed like Nameless was just setting the pace that entire match and BMing a little bit on top of it, but we love a little bit of BM here and there.
Yay,
but
it's all in game.
All in game. All in game.
Yep. Great match from Nameless. Really showing why they were the first seed into this tournament. Showing like, yeah, like this is the first seed versus the 7th seed, realistically, at the end of the day. The Chads had a great run. They did make some upsets. They were seeded to be 7th, but they made it all the way to top 6. Yeah, the top 6. So, doing better than projected, which is a win in its own right. And I do expect them to end up qualifying for Osas Finale if they keep it up in these next weeks. Despite the game looking a little stompy, there was some stuff going on in that game that I can't understand. This composition was just ridiculous. Just finding the KOs. Despite, like, I don't know, we have 8 KOs in how long is this game? 14 minutes. So like almost like a KO more than a KO every 2 minutes. Just really able to keep up the KOs, keep up the damage, this Finny damage, pretty ridiculous. And it's able to still have the most redirects on the team despite having Vambrace. So there's really nothing it felt like the X felt like it couldn't do anything. It wasn't scaling properly. It didn't have any support from something like an Era to increase the damage and make scoring more like easily accessible. So we see the 46 redirects on X. Looking a bit of an X stat line, just not able to touch the core very often and just getting bullied for most of the game. Unless you find those scaling opportunities, there's not much you can do. Zenith on kind of the same boat, was getting bullied too much to have a big impact on the game. Chad Dudesky did their best and honestly had a pretty hero performance that game with 123 redirects and most damage on the team, but just not enough. It's too hard. As Vice, you really want to be getting these KOs. You're sacrificing your defensive potential for more forward pressure and more damage, and they weren't able to find either that game. So overall, just a well-played game by Nameless, and that leads us to our final qualifier.
Final qualifier, and who do we have lined up? It is the Platinum Horde versus Chikara Ichizu.
Yeah, Chikara there was a Chikara versus Seraphim battle of the orgs in losers round 4 before this. That Chikara Ichizu was able to come out victorious on to make it to this qualifying match, and it'll be, like you said, the Platinum Horde once again making their return from their match earlier against Everybody Loves Dubu, which they had lost. Going to be seeing players come back. It's Sly was someone I was pretty impressed with that last set, so going to be keeping an eye on them, especially going into this one. Shikara Ichizu. It's so hard to keep track of all the Shikara teams and who's on whose team. This could really be anyone. It could be any team, and I would not be prepared. But Seed 6 versus Seed 10, Platinum Horde technically favored and made it farther in the upper bracket beforehand. So looking at the tournament on that level is going to be a little bit Platinum Horde favored, but I would not be surprised to see a quote-unquote upset here. All the Osas teams are incredibly close to each other, especially once you get out of the top few teams to the rest of them. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. I think it should be a bit of a banger, a bit of a close one, and I'm wondering what map will show up on as well.
I'm excited to see the Platinum Horde run back, because it seemed like earlier they were struggling a little bit with some performance issues. Seemed like a little bit of lag on Jiggle Supreme's part, but hopefully their ping will settle down a little more and we can see a little more of that fire that we saw earlier on in the tournament.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that as well. I mean, they had a pretty great run. They beat ICBM, which is crazy name. People on that team, yeah, it's able to get through. I believe that stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, right? Is that
yes, that's what ICBM is.
Yeah, that's epic name. I like that. I like that name a lot. But Platinum Horde is also a name. I like that name a lot too. Remember when I saw when I saw them in Westy Wednesday, I was like, that's a sick name. I wonder if they actually are plat, because you just need to have never been challenger, and before the Osas season started to be eligible to play. So, but if they actually are platinum players, then they are doing really, really well, making it this far into tournament, playing against other diamond teams. But they're probably also diamond realistically, and we'll see what they pick. We're on Oni Village. I believe last time we saw them on Night Market, so could see a different breath from this team, this match.
Oni Village, like I said, a very tough map to attack, because you either have to stack up on that top corner or try to synergize one in front of the other. So you have your forward in front of the barrier and you have your midfield right behind you, just ready to catch any clears that the goalie might make. But Oni Village is really difficult because there's a lot of clear options that aren't really that orthodox, and the speed lanes kind of make things a little more difficult as well, because there's just so much coverage, not only from your longer range midfielders, but just the ability of either team to get wherever they need to go utilizing the speed lanes. So I'm excited to see how these two teams, both the Platinum Horde and Shikara Ichizu, how both of them will perform.
All right. Yeah, we have aerials plus 1-2 punch start. So interesting game, because Estelle is one of the strongest midfielders on this map. Era, I used to play Era on this map, but then I kind of realized this character is not quite as strong as the other ones when it comes to midfield on this map. So that isn't really a huge difference a lot of the time. When I saw the Asher locked in, I was like, oh, Rune goalie. Asher brawl it forward. This makes sense. But we're actually seeing Estelle Rune forward, which honestly, I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of. It's going to be pretty hard to get past this Atlas. They don't really have any way of getting directly through other than Estelle Beam plus ult, which is technically there's usually always a way around it. And I think Oni Village is all about finding those checkmates, because the clear angles are just so they're just always there, it feels like. But 1-2 punch on Rune is extremely powerful. If you use that Rune Pillar and it fully forms, then just any two strikes into it go crazy, and it even goes crazy without the Rune Pillar, as just a normal strike goes absolutely crazy as overtime clicks, and that's the 1-2 punch goal there. Maybe you don't need forward some sort of pushing Asher force to get the barrier. If you just have 1-2 punch, you can hit the core extremely hard and can go around.
And it's not to say that we haven't seen our fair share of unorthodox comps today, because just in the it if we can see that work, I think we can make almost any picks work, I think, up in this forward position. So we'll have to see how this unique combination can really play around the field.
Yeah, it's Sly having that 1-2 punch again, too, that we saw in the last game on Night Market. With a flip, actually baits out the flip, so pretty good to keep possession, but not able to get a full goal off of it. Turbo playing really far back right now. Oh no, a little bit of a panic strike into a panic flip. Results in a goal. Nom Nom able to find the strike war. gets a little excited. Throws out the emote. I like it. I like it. Nom Nom has the magnetized souls and the aerials once again, which is like pretty much one of the top awakenings for Estelle on this map. It gets really, really hard to deal with as a goalie. Just a dash awakening alone, but the dash awakening plus having that extra range on the projectile goes really, really hard as Estelle. It's just so hard to deal with because pretty much nothing is ever open at any moment as long as Estelle has that dash, but it's not the dash that's going to be needed once again to get that goal. A great passing play between the forwards of Chikara Ichizu are going to be enough to find that goal. Good sub 30-second Oni Village goal, and that's hey, Oni Village going by really fast this time. 3 sparks on board and an orb dancer for a pretty dry board. Going to be interesting to see what people grab.
Monumentalist Estelle. Interesting
Stills.
pickup. Maybe just a deny, but they're also potentially denying their Rune and their Asher, but purely a deny for the side of Chikara Ichizu, really not wanting the opposing side to get any good awakenings for their team. The Platinum Horde kind of dry in that draft, it looks like.
Yeah, I respect it so hard. To be clear, this monumentalist Estelle, it's the arrow was going to take it for sure, and they just really didn't want to have to play against this big NATO. It honestly helps a lot on this map. It gives Era a much bigger presence. You're able to shove the core into your ult much more easily, and able to send it down these speed lanes, able to send it down just like any wall in general, and it's just there's nothing that the goalie can do. There's no countering it other than flip. But the banish comes out, a lot of cooldowns come down. It's not gonna be enough. As ooh no, Kanaji kind of dashes past that core. There's a little bit of a State Farm steppy roll despite not playing Dubu. Tough one.
Force slips right past Naji and just barely ekes out behind him. We've all had it happen before. We dash forward thinking it's gonna go one way and it just goes right past us. Hits the demon angle and scores a goal or hits a barrier.
Yeah, and to be clear, great angle shot. It made Kanaji was not prepared for it, clearly, but another chance. Like, these passes are really good. They're opening up. There's the passing lane needs to be covered. It's recognizes it and walks back into the passing lane and immediately blocks a pass. So good adaptation there. The banish comes out with specialized, which does do actually a lot of damage, especially if you get a Castellast later or something like that. But on its own right now, it's not going to be doing too much damage, and it's just really not that much damage on this team. It's probably not going to be finding too many KOs from that, unless we see a full combo Rune ult. But in the meantime, a little scary there. It's forced to use that secondary to escape. Rune did. It's a 1-2 punch Asher. Is finding people on the edge with flip. It's a second flip forced out, I believe, this game alone, and finds an insane angle from all the way up there. Has the 1-2 punch also making it move a little bit faster with this overtime, too. Finds this other barrier, and now they're up 1-0 and trying to make it 2-0. The size comes in, but the Rune Pillar helps the defense a little bit, and now it's going to be a little bit of a dribble coming out from this Rune, and Nom Nom trying to make the connection. Kanaji, caught. That was really cool how that core was caught. Hit an unfortunate bounce afterwards, but the flip found on the very edge. This is a really intense point after what was such a quick set earlier. Nom Nom tries to get the leading pass, but it's able to be caught by It's Sly. Tries to get a KO, tries to make something happen, but now just has no cooldowns. The airships fly by each other like ships in the night, but it's Sly. Oh my goodness, what a shot! Goes right through all like perfectly threads the needle between all 3 members of Chikara Ichizu and gets the second goal. And they're looking a lot better now, especially after that first draft.
The twin Asher ults on top of each other was interesting to say the least. Watching the cars go by each other. Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow. Yeah, InSlot able to get the other barrier right after. We see that 1-2 punch go off of that rune ult too. A little crazy there. And oh, the fake. just absolutely ankles broken. Mine's red. Just hits the evade on the rune banish, and that's enough to score, I guess. Just kind of everyone gets faked out, and that's gonna be a 3-0 set. And there's an orb ponder to complement that orb dancer on the board, along with stacks on stacks and hotshot.
Hopefully some better awakenings, but Stacks on Stacks is here, and this is one of the best maps to take Speed Awakening, so we'll have to see if any members of the Platinum Horde opt for it. Doesn't seem like they are so far. Chikara Ichizu's goalie ends up taking it away as an option, but Egoist falling onto Turbo 24. Got to be able to make a little more use of those energy bursts now.
Yeah, a little bit surprised to see no perfect form takes, but it's a little bit of a weird awakening. It's kind of hard to understand like the value you're gaining from it in the moment, but just having every time you strike the core, getting a little bit of cooldown off your abilities, all of your abilities, is extremely powerful. So it ends up being able to slide through though. Despite that, Nom Nom has this Aerial's missile prop build, which is really fun to play, but honestly, I think it's not that great to have both of them, have both range extensions. It kind of goes hard though, because sometimes you'll just dash from across, like so far away from them, and then the secondary hits them, and they're just really confused about like where this projectile came from. So hey, watch out for that. But great shot. Just once again, Nom Nom and I need someone to send me a pronunciation for this name.
I believe it's Hansam.
Hey, Hansam.
Kind of like handsome a little bit, but Hansam.
I gotcha, and I will never mess that up. Hansam is able to, and with that, Nom Nom and Hansam, whoa, it all makes sense. Are able to work together in front of the goalie, and they're doing a really good job because they're playing Estelle and Rune, who are really good at taking up a lot of space. Although don't have mobility options like great, like any hastes or anything like that, or quick dashes to get through people. Are really doing a really good job of holding the core in front of the goal and not letting anything through until they find that one opportunity that they need. So that's been working out really well. Uses the flip to save the first barrier, which like I said previously is a little, usually not worth, but they got the barrier off of it. So once again, maybe I'm always wrong and dumb and stupid or something. So good job from them. First barrier finally gets taken on the side of the Platinum Horde, but the next one will not be, as the flip will clear. Nom Nom looking for an opportunity. Uses the pass to Hansam. Great pass back. Nom Nom has the 1-2 punch and sends that one in with the piercing shot. Great plays from Chikara Ichizu, really stepping it up after that first set.
Something not enough, there's something I don't see enough is a lot of the goalies that, whatever they're playing this map, they don't realize that they can usually just sack the first barrier, not really sack it, but just like not use any abilities to defend it, and leaves their defense a lot more spread thin than they would realize. Yeah,
super agree. It's a super common mistake that, like, honestly, like, not even like new goalies, but just any goalie will, like, it's just a trap they fall into. Like, when I play goalie, I straight up just I don't even try to defend the other barrier. I just straight up give it to them. But great Crystal Thorns from Nom Nom. It's just covering everything. Juggle Supreme just feels so oppressed from that far away. From the double range extension Crystal Thorns that are like usually like you kind of want to wait for them to come through or wait for them to dissipate to see what happens. But it's just so hard when you know that they're going to keep coming no matter what to deal with. And there's a quick strikes on board. It's a fight or flight. This orb replicator needs to be denied from Jiggle Supreme, and it is. So yeah,
really good.
Interesting.
Sorry. Really good drafts here. It looks like Fight or Flight, Quick Strike, Big Fish, all of it's going to be taken, but Quick Strike, or somehow Fight or Flight falls all the way to Turbo 24, so let's see what they can do with Slick Kicks, but slightly better.
Yeah. right now, this Estelle, honestly, you're just so thankful if you're Estelle right now that you have aerials, because your build is not what you want it to be. You have Monumentalist Orb Replicator. You could really do something a little bit stronger, but they had a really good set last round, and now Chikara Ichizu looking to keep up that pressure despite not really getting all the best. Like, once again, I think losing the Awakening draft pretty hard. Quick strikes, fight or flight are just both extremely powerful, and both two people on the side of Cloudmore getting it. Both barriers are now down though. Turbo looking for an opportunity to pass the Sly, but isn't going to find it just yet. Sly moving a little bit farther back to help move the core up forward. Is going to not find it in the end though, although the pressure is definitely helping. Turbo now moving up, trying to hit it to the corner. The pass is trying to get open, but it's just they're so tight in the small spaces that it's getting a little bit more difficult. It's Sly, and that moves completely back now. And Turbo, if the Egoist, is the one who's moving up to look for a shot on goal, but both forwards have this flip, so one of them should be able to use it to score. Turbo uses it for the stun, and then on the other end, the banish comes in a little bit too late, and Sly's able to get the goal with theirs.
Very, very interesting play. It seems like Turbo wanted to stun with core flip or tried to receive the core with core flip and either missed, but it did interrupt the timings of Chikara Ichizu, so we'll have to see. I mean, with no energy, it seems like they may struggle a little more to secure that second barrier.
Yeah, a little bit harder here, but Handsome coming up forward, trying to get this other barrier, but that's going to be theirs. That's lost on the side of It's Sly, having a little bit more pressure on those 1v1s. It's going to immediately afterwards get that strike upwards. Kanachi, the problem with Dasher goalie just being that you don't have that same speed or mobility options that you'd like on other goalies. The stacks on stacks hasn't even procced all the way to 100 yet, so that's something that they really would like to get going. Atlas completely filled up on the orbs, has max orb ponder and dancer every time. After getting an orb, just getting a huge cooldown refund and also a huge speed burst. So it's really able to make up for the shortcomings of Atlas of being cooldown reliant and not having the same sort of usually need speed. But I like this strategy. Hey, if you can't get through the goalie, try to get through the midfielder. That's a great strat for solo queue especially. And Nom Nom applies it greatly there. Is able to get through Turbo, forward into net. Had flip, but honestly, using it there is not that... might not even be worth it. Hopefully, let's see if Turbo can find an opportunity to use it this round to get a barrier. Hopefully, preferably the second one. But 1-2 punch. It's Slide tries to get the KO again. Hasn't really been able to find as many, if any, this game so far. But has been able to get evades out and put a lot of pressure off with it. And kind of keep people out of the speed lanes a little bit more, which is honestly powerful in its own right. But both barriers still up, playing a little defensively on the side of Chikara Ichizu, but still one barrier apiece. It's Sly, gets a pretty good stun there, but the flip is going to be used. Good patience from Kanaji to wait that one out, but Jiggle Supreme is going to also use the flip and is also going to be patient. But Kanaji gets completely sandwiched by the forwards from the Platinum Horde, and that's going to be through two people. It's Sly is going to knock that one in, and it's going to be a set 5 once again for qualification.
Beautiful dribble by It's Sly, hitting it off the bottom corner and bouncing it back into his primary rather than going for a shot, and it faked out Najee really, really good. We'll have to see, because they have first pick on Awakenings, and Jiggle Supreme gets Twin Drive. With Orb Ponder and Orb Dancer, he's going to be a monster to get past in the goal box. Yeah,
Jiggle Supreme is just going to have secondary this entire game. The Chrono Boost, we're getting a little, you know what, there's not that much up for you anyway, but we're a little addicted to denying Awakenings as we see the Estelle build of all time of Monumentalist, Aerials, Missile Prop, Chrono Boost, plus Orb Rep. But honestly, I want to see Nom Nom dash across the entire map now and just like hit a projectile from across the map in the same way. Has a presence over the entire map at all points, but just doesn't have like any like CDR or anything. So has if Nom Nom can use the best of each ability, this build can actually prove to be pretty strong, but the Kanaji moves a little bit too far forward and kind of in a weird angle is able to get the barrier. And Jiggle Supreme, this kind of sucks when there's one barrier up and you kind of want to get that orb. But the flip comes through, but all of the abilities come out, but it's not enough. 1-2 punch. It's Sly able to get a KO with that one, and that's going to be stacks reset as well on Kanaji.
Rough. Very, very rough. Especially, not only is that KO really, really detrimental to their stacks, but it's also just... I mean, they were building up towards a core flip there towards the end, if I remember correctly, so they're just down a core flip now.
Yeah, so that's... Yeah, you really... That sucks to lose all your energy and to lose all your stacks, but... Honestly, there's still a chance as Nom Nom's able to get another goal, and this is what I was talking about earlier. The pressure for that Era exerts on this map versus the amount of space that Estelle takes over is just completely different. It's just a huge gap for the Estelle. The Estelle has so much power in this game compared to the Era, and Estelle, like there you see the dash from anywhere. Nowhere is safe. Estelle can dash to any location at any point, so you have to be really careful about that. You got to try to bait it out. But it's going to be the barriers taken. The forward pressure from this Estelle being too much. The flip comes out, is patiently waiting for the Jiggle Supreme's cooldowns to come out, and as soon as the expanse goes away, hits it right through Turbo and is able to get a shot on goal. And it's now 2-1. And Chikari Chizu, despite not having the orbs, despite not having the scaling, despite having Monumentalist on Estelle, are making a run for this game.
I would have loved to have seen Nom Nom get like a Super Surge in one of the previous drafts and then get Chrono Boost.
Yeah, go super dash mode. Estelle going across the map, feeling like a quick play game, but it's Sly is going to be the one to get the barrier and immediately get the shot after, saying this game's not over. Set 5.5 for qualification. The Platinum Horde stays alive. And this is ridiculous. Turbo's level 7 right now, but it's Kanaji level 7 on the side of Chikari Chizu as well. Both having their own respective issues of getting into this game. The Asher just not having enough of the same utility that Atlas does to defend these barriers, and Era not having the same mobility. But the both barriers are going to be taken immediately. Handsome's able to get that one with the flip, and now it's going to be really low actually. The KO is kind of scary there, but the ult comes through. The Divine Celestial Intervention is going to be able to help out there. Kanaji is about one strike away from flip, though. Is able to get it off of something else. I believe the airship. So it's going to have that defensively for now. Uses it immediately to go for a crazy shot and keep the forward pressure up, but it's immediately able to be hit backwards. And now Turbo is the one that's staying up this play. Gets it through, knows it's going to go through, but Sly is getting hit with everything in the book. It's Sly doing a great job of dodging these banishes this game and finds another opportunity to there. Oh, the primary is not enough. The KO, Handsome, but it's Sly still exerting a lot of pressure on this game. Turbo is now getting a chance to move forward. It's going to have the Egoist soon as well, along with this flip. If they can get a few more strikes on goal, but that might not be allowed as Handsome moves forward and Nom Nom has the blink, but it's not going to be enough. Now, it's going to be Turbo with the speed, with the Egoist, but the core is moving everywhere all at once. It's so hard to control. The speed is so fast. The panic flip with everything moving too quickly, but Turbo, no, Jiggle Supreme hits it, and Handsome is prepared, throws down the primary. The 1-2 punch might have come into play there and is able to get the final goal. The flips, not enough to save this team. Chikari Chizu qualify.
Oh, just such a valiant effort from the side of the Platinum Horde, but it's just not enough. It seemed like the whole time Chikari Chizu was just setting the pace, even with Nom Nom's very interesting as Monumentalist Estelle. It was truly a hard-fought game from both sides, and exciting and down to the wire on that very, very last set. It seemed like no matter what was happening, there was always some sort of action going on, some sort of play, some sort of redirect that was just barely missing a barrier, but it was just so much fun to watch.
Yeah, just another insane comp coming through. If the Rune Estelle just maximizing their core control. and not even needing to shove. Just get around the Atlas. The Atlas had turbo giga winning Bish, as some might say, but because of their comp, we're honestly able to get through. Despite that, despite the twin drive, despite the other takes, like having both orbs stacked up, it wasn't enough because and honestly, the monumentalist take, if you see some of those goals with Monu, they would have been saved possibly. So hey, maybe it could be the drafting goats, Chikara Ichizu. Probably maybe got some training from some of the other Chikara members and denying those awakenings and finding the right plays to make. But yeah, again, this it's really interesting. It's because I do think that comp, it maybe it is a little bit better than I first initially thought. It's just you do have pressure, you do have ways to get around them, and you do have a lot of redirects. You have really leading the field there on their side, really controlling the core a lot. Honestly, that's why their goalie level is so low, is because they have two midfielders on their team. They're able to just kind of keep possession of the core the whole time, and working together a lot. Nom Nom with 7 goals and 2 assists, with Handsome with 3 goals and 5 assists. So working together a lot there, having a lot of high goal involvement percentage coming out of them. Pretty low KO game despite the 1-2 punch, but not really something that was expected to happen that game anyway, based on the comps. But just, yeah, redirects, it's only Village. We're going to be striking the core a lot. And the team that struck the core slightly better was the team of Chikara Ichizu, so excited to see them in the future.
Very, very excited to see them. And hey, all I'm saying is, maybe max blink range Estelle is more meta than you think.
Okay, it definitely 1 or maybe even 2 blinks range is like really good. It's 1 blink range. Honestly, Chrono Boost could be best in slot on Estelle, especially on this map. But it's, I don't know if you need all of them. I don't know if you need all of them. It worked out. You're right. Maybe it was correct. I could be convinced, and I have been convinced by that performance, to be fair. So, good job by them. Drafting legends. ! Goats.
But I believe that is actually all the matches that we have lined up for tonight, isn't it?
Yep, should be. If you are an aspiring player that's never hit Challenger before the dates of October 26th or something, then make sure you can sign up for Osas. There's 2 more weeks for you to qualify. If you want to play against these guys, you're thinking, yo, I could destroy these guys. And these guys made it this far in the tournament, blah blah blah, chat. Then show up. Osas Weekly 5 and 6, November 23rd, which is Thanksgiving Day, I think, which is Thanksgiving. All right, so there's actually only 1 more chance. It's being canceled next week, but on November 30th, there will be another qualifier. So come to that, and then that will be your last chance of finding yourself into OSAT's finale. That will take place on December 7th. So clear those dates, get in there, form your teams, play some Omega Strikers.
Definitely the number one thing you need to take away from Osas is that anybody, and I mean anybody, can play. If you, that's what Osas is all about, is those lower ranked players who haven't really had a chance to see the tournament scene, haven't really had a chance to get into tournament play, or really just want an opportunity to experience tournament play. If you think you want a shot at Osas, or even have a tiny little inkling of tournament play, go for it. Try it. I tried Osas 1 week and I had a lot of fun playing in it. And very much I encourage anybody who is thinking about joining Osas, or maybe they're on the fence about it, come play. Try it out a little bit, and if you don't qualify, hey, you had a fun night of Omega Strikers and got to play with a few new people.
Yeah. It's not for Osas. But that'll be it from us. We'll see you in 2 weeks. not next week. Or maybe at some other events. There's always stuff going on. Keep your eyes peeled, especially for this Saturday. There's going to be Launchpad. It's going to be one of the qualifier tournaments for NASL and NASA, the Tier 1 and Tier 2 leagues for this game. You can see that really the next up, like these are the next ups, and then you see the next ups, and that's where Launchpad is. I hope to see some Osas teams there. I know some Osas teams have been participating in it. But make sure to show up on Saturday to watch that as well. But until then, I believe that'll be it from us. It'll be Izanagi and Fudgy Waffles signing off. Thank you all for showing up. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks for joining.